The team, coaches, cheerleaders, student body, and fans of Red Mountain High School extend to each you a big welcome. We are pleased that you could be here tonight as our guests. Red Mountain High School and Mesa High School are playing this game tonight, entered into an agreement by both schools. Please remember these two teams competing here tonight are members of the Arizona Interscholastic Association and abide by the rules and regulations set forth by the association to maintain and improve high standards of conduct, competition, and relations with member schools. At tonight's game, the Arizona Interscholastic Association asks you to watch and cheer for your team in the spirit of good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship is an individual responsibility, and spectator behavior should represent respect for their opponent, their spectators, coaches, the game officials, as well as your school and its representatives. The athletes performing here tonight are friendly rivals of opposing teams. They are not enemies. Aggressive or threatening behavior from spectators or any other inappropriate activity at tonight's game will result in possible prosecution from law enforcement personnel. The officials for tonight's game: line judge James Moore, linesman John Warner, referee Randy Preston, umpire Torrance Williams, and back judge Pete Peters. The officials are assigned by the Arizona Interscholastic Association Commissioners and are here to administer the rules of the game. Their experience and their integrity qualify them for their part in tonight's contest. The attitude of sportsmanship should be reflected by all spectators, no matter what their personal feelings of loyalty may be to one or the other team in tonight's contest. Please remember to pursue victory with honor. At this time, we please ask for you stand for the presenting of our colors by the Red Mountain Junior ROTC.
Where are you going?
The members are Cadet Master Sergeant Coolan, Cadet Staff Sergeant Tanner, Cadet Pittsburgh, Cadet Master Sergeant Lopez, and Cadet Sergeant Eckenboy. Please rise for the playing of our national anthem. The 2018 football season is brought to you by Parker & Sons, Heating and Plumbing, Electrical, Water Softening. There'll be no melons on your job, it's Carl. This year's Red Mountain 2018 sponsors are Parker & Sons, Heating and Cooling, Dry Force Water Removal Specialist, call for all your water removal needs, Tosoro Custom Home, your home and remodeling specialist, Dr. Judd Griffin, Red Mountain Football Foot and Ankle Specialist, Christensen Oral Surgery, dedicated care, comfort, and commitment. Arizona Tire Pros, your locally owned one-stop shop, who truly cares about their customers. Mesa Youth Football and Shooting, proud to be a helping support member to help you succeed on and off the field. Sports Football Academy, the East Valley's premier youth football and 7-on-7 organization. Monica Timpani, looking to buy and sell property? Call Monica with Realty One Group. Your Red Mountain Mountain Real Estate Discount Professional.
Showing up at the game where he came out.
We have an announcement down by the concession stand. American Family Insurance Agent Leslie Alvarado has a table. Here at the concession, coupons for $1 off purchases at the concession center. Go to her table and get your free coupon. Sign up to get a free auto home life insurance quote with your local agent Leslie Alvarado. For your Red Mountain Mountain Lions are number 13, Eric Trail. Number 74, Francisco Salcedo. Number 85, Ken Valenzuela. And number 45, Jaquel Gardner. Football fans, you can listen to Red Mountain Football broadcast team of Kevin Derryberry and James Cooley home and away on YouTube. Download the app now and listen to the game tonight. Bring your headphones to the game and tune into Red Mountain Football on YouTube.
Guys, look pretty, pretty. I'm going to take a picture of what?
You can listen to the Jackrabbits, number 13, Arthur Morgan, number 24, Boyd Mox. On the kick for the Mountain Lions, number 25, Connor Gardner. The kick from Gardner is returned by number 24, Boyd Mox. Tackle on the play by number 4, Ronald Rivera II. Correction Ramsey.
Jansen, they're the first two down there to register the tackle there in combination.
Yeah, nice job by Kumi that time, maintaining outside contain and squaring up on the ball carrier and making the stop there for basically no gain for Mesa.
The offensive line for the Jackrabbits. Tyler Turcotte is the center, Preston Packer, Michael DiMaggio, Safe Fatu, and Lingi Havea make out that group for Coach Sikema. This is Gabby Mendoza, first pass of the game. He throws a slant out across the 20-yard line, and that ball is going to be incomplete. The intended target, number 23, Edwin McClendon, and McClendon is their standout receiver, 6'1", 200. He's a senior. We talked to him before the game. Great personality, great young man. But he had a record-breaking performance just a couple weeks back. 7 offensive touchdowns against Dobson, all of them receiving. And his first touchdown of the night, he had 8 in total, was a scoop and score.
Outstanding performance. Yeah, we got to talk to him before the game. A nice kid, and it was great to visit with him a little bit before. He comes with a 19.4-yard average per reception for the Mesa Jackrabbits.
They're going to run out of time on the play clock, and they do. They're going to suffer a delay of game. The quarterback is Gabby Mendoza. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 180, and he just took over the Mesa Jackrabbit football team about 5 games ago. And for Mendoza, he's come in with a hot hand here, and part of that reason is he's had that chemistry with Eddie McClendon. So it's a delay of game penalty assessed to Mesa. They're going the other way here. And showing blitz is Braden Jansen right up there on the line of scrimmage. Here they come. It's Jansen on the outside, and Jansen's going to get there and sack the quarterback. Ball is loose, and it looks like the Jackrabbits are pouncing on the football on the 3-yard line, but Braden Jansen coming from the outside on a blitz got to the quarterback, and he was unabated.
Yeah, that was an excellent play that time for the Red Mountain defense. That was actually number 21, Tanner Goodchild, on the pursuit there from the far side of the football field. He came up and clocked the quarterback there right at the goal line.
Well, we'll go with that, JP. It looked like we had the ISO on Jansen, but it was definitely a player from the outside, and our public address team here thought it might have been Isaac Thompson, but I don't think IT was there. But either way, a great blitz called by Coach Kyle Enders, the defensive coordinator, and Red Mouse defense comes out firing on all cylinders here, and they're going to push the Mesa Jackrabbits back to a punting situation where their punter is on their basically 1 foot away from the end zone line, the back end. Here comes the rush. It's Alta there in a hurry. It's end-over-end kick, and Molina thought about making a play on it. He lets it go, and it will be touched down by number 7 for the Mesa Jackrabbits, Tim Jackson. And Red Mountain is going to have golden field position here to begin this football game, James.
Yeah, they're in great field position here, starting from the Mesa 42-yard line, and a smart heady play there by Zach Molina not to field that one. It took a Red Mountain bounce, and they are in business here in Mesa territory to start the drive. When
we were last on the air on the YouTube network, on the Red Mountain Broadcast Network, the Mountain Lions defeated the Toros from Mountain View 42-21. This is Darren Smith under center. First play of the game is a handoff to Georgia Ramirez, and right there waiting for him are the Mesa Jackrabbits. Good pursuit that time by the front 4 of the Mesa Jackrabbits. Looked like the big fella, number 77 down there, Sam Tange, making that tackle. Tange is a 6'1", 340-pound freshman, folks. He's a big, big boy.
Let's just say he is clogging up the middle down there all night long, Kevin. He's going to provide a spark for the D-line of Mesa and clog up the holes, let those linebackers run side to side.
2 wide receiver package for Smith. There goes the tight end in motion. This is a pitch to Georgia Ramirez at the 40, and Ramirez is stuck at the 38-yard line with an absolute lick. Coming in to make that tackle, number 32, Tavita Tonga. And Tonga, much like Talamontes did last week against Deontay Elliott, this time in the play of field in a legal form, just absolutely belted Georgia Ramirez.
Yeah, Tonga had a great pursuit angle that time. Georgia Ramirez coming around on the toss, but Tonga with a great form tackle there in the open space and dropping the hammer that time on Georgia Ramirez.
So give Ramirez about a 3-yard carry, and that was a textbook tackle there by Tonga. Smith to the air. Now he's going to tuck it and run it to the 35-yard line, and he gets dropped around the 33-yard line. Penalty marker down, but James, right out of the chute in this opening drive, the Mesa Jackrabbits are coming to play, and Osaya Taele came in there, make a big tackle there, and that was a bone-crunching hit too. 6'2", 210, delivering a whack.
Wow, this Mesa defense has come to play tonight. They are laying the lumber thus far. That might have been a shot to the head there on quarterback Darren Smith. He did lose his helmet on that one, but Mesa has come to play tonight.
So the preliminary indication is a hold assessed to the Jackrabbits. And we'll take a look at Darren Smith because Garrett Strail is getting the plays from Tabor Lamar and Chris Andrianis, and he'll get late word from head coach Mike Peterson as they fix the shoulder pad and the jersey of Garrett Strail. So it's Strail now will take the snaps here as they tend to Darren Smith here. As James pointed out, took a shot, lost it, and they evaluate him. And boy, that is just a tough way to begin this football game. So it'll be Garrett Strail approaching the red zone on the 22-yard line of Mesa. There goes Parker McClure, he's the tight end. Strail to the air, and the catch is incomplete. Pass over the middle intended for the starting tight end. That's Michael Pearson. He's starting for Carter Wheat tonight, and that pass just a little bit too tall for Pearson there. Maybe Strail, a little adrenaline on that throw.
Yeah, had a little bit too much air underneath that one, did Garrett Strail. He came in to spell Darren Smith for one play there, and nice protection up front that time, a nice blitz pickup as well there from 45 Jarquell Garner, but Strail unable to connect with the receiver down the field.
So good news for the Mount Lions. Darren Smith, their starting quarterback, right back out on the field. Behind him is Georgie Ramirez. There goes Randall in motion. Two wide receivers to the far side. Darren Smith wants to throw this time. Has time. Off the back foot looking for the end zone, and it's going to be Zach Molina in the end zone, and he's got the football, and that's a touchdown reception. A 22-yard reception by Zach Molina from Darren Smith, and that combination has really picked up here as we move throughout this football season.
Boy, credit to Darren Smith on that one. He was under pressure, flushed out of the pocket that time, able to deliver the football in the corner of the end zone to Zach Molina right on the sideline. Zemo had the great position on the defender, walled him off, and hauled it in there for the Mountain Lion touchdown. Nice job.
Not quite the 50-50 ball, but Molina right there to get himself in perfect position, and a box out play right there. Nice job by Zach Molina, his third touchdown reception of the year. And for Darren Smith, that is his 13th touchdown pass of the year. So a bang-bang play, first drive of the game for Red Mountain. They cash in on a short field. They score it and lead it 7-0. And you have to mention that special teams unit of Titus Pulliam, the long snapper. The holder is Garrett Strail, and then Gardner just booted his 30th extra point in 31 tries.
Connor Gardner has been money all season long for Red Mountain. He's been there every time they called his number, and made a number of clutch kicks as well for this Mountain Lion football team as well.
So for Mike Peterson, that is exactly what you want to do. You want to start off fast, and they did that. Kind of a short field. You mentioned the drive started on the 42-yard line, and a little balance there of some running with Georgie Ramirez, and they took advantage of a penalty in that drive also for the Mesa Jackrabbits. And then Darren Smith off that back foot threw it to her. Molina made a great play on the football right at the front of the pylon here at Red Mountain High School. It's senior night. Glad you can be watching this one on the Red Mountain TV on the YouTube network. As Gardner sends this one in the air, it's high, it's deep, it's end over end, and on the far side of the field, this is number 24 for the Mesa Jackrabbits. This is Boyd Mox once again, makes a move to the inside, breaks it to the outside, up the sideline, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds right near the 25-yard line. Once again, over there with a special teams play, looked like Hiram Bourne down there hustling on that special teams unit. Not sure if he's playing the gunner spot, but the first man down there on the last two special teams plays has been number 7, Hiram Bourne.
Yeah, Bourne has got a great motor, especially on the special teams unit for Red Mountain, able to get on there and make plays. But Boyd Mox, an excellent job cutting that one back outside. He broke about 2 or 3 Red Mountain tackles on his way to the sideline.
Mox, arguably their best offensive weapon. Of course, Eddie McClendon will have a say in that. 4 wide receiver package for Mendoza. Back to throw from the pocket. Pass complete to the outside, and wrapping him up right away was Jesus Vasquez, making the reception for the Mesa Jackrabbits, his first of the night, Bishop Foster Jr. And how about the defense there by Jesus Vasquez out of that corner spot right there to really do a great job of wrapping up the wide receiver.
Yeah, excellent job there. Jesus Vasquez coming from across the football field on that one, diagnosing the play and making the play in open space that time for Red Mountain. Nice job.
Shaq Daniels back in the starting lineup. And he did start against Mountain View, but he did leave that game with an injury. So good to see number 5, Shaq Daniels, back in there on that boundary corner. 3 wide receivers to the near side. They play fake it, and the pass is complete far side by McClendon. He's loose at the 50, to the 40, to the 30, the 20. Eddie McClendon is going to take this ball into the end zone for a touchdown. 72 yards. Edward McClendon from Gabby Mendoza, and the Mesa Jackrabbits with the answer
What a play that time. Eddie McClendon, an outstanding reception there on the far side of the field. 6'1", 200 pounds. Number 20, Jesus Vasquez, in on coverage on that one. And just a mismatch there for Mesa. And the quarterback saw it, delivered the football on time from Mendoza, and McClendon did the rest down the football field for the touchdown.
It wasn't really a 50-50 ball, but when you have one-on-one coverage, Gabby Mendoza spotted the right read, and he made a great delivery of the football. McClendon just did the rest.
Yeah, he did. A ton of speed for Edward McClendon, and once he had that football in his grasp, they were not going to catch him.
Keys to the game tonight for the Mountain Lions, James. On defense, contain the passer and win those 50-50 balls. You could argue that was a 50-50 ball. It was Vasquez and McClendon. McClendon won that one. He caught it at the high point, and then the speed, athleticism, and the physicality really kind of just shook Vasquez, and then he took it to the house for a touchdown. 72 yards later, McClendon is in the end zone for his 11th touchdown of the season.
Impressive totals for McClendon. A nice position there for Jesus Vasquez, but he was just outmatched by McClendon. He was able to reach up and high point it, as you mentioned, and just took it to the house.
Tough one for 20, Jesus Vasquez, because you just had talked about how he did such a great job going from one side to the other to make a really fine play with an open field tackle. Very next play, maybe they recognized that as far as what he did to extend himself energy-wise, and they went right to him on the other side. So advantage Mesa Jackrabbits. They answer with the one-point conversion attempt. 8:13 to go in the first quarter. We are tied at 7 apiece. A couple of touchdown passes for the quarterbacks in this one. This is Rivera from about the 2-yard line. Straight ahead to the 10. Looking for a blocker, makes a move at the 12, and he's going to be wrapped up right there. So, I beg your pardon, that is Shaq Daniels right there on the return. And that might explain why we saw some of the zigzagging around. Looks like Ramses Rivera will get that ball and hit it hard, but Shaq Daniels trying to make a play right there. And he did secure the football, and he brought it out to the, we'll call it the 13-yard line. That's where Darren Smith will begin his second drive of the night.
Yeah, Shaq Daniels able to accelerate and decelerate very quickly, and did a nice job there bringing the ball out from the goal line about for Red Mountain, and here they go.
Saucedo is the center. Bray is the left tackle. Hola is the left guard. Carson Foster is the right guard, and the big fella, Jasper Parks, on the right tackle. This is the give to Georgie, and Georgie makes the first man miss, gets to the 20-yard line, and is going to be wrapped up right there by the Mesa Jackrabbits.
Looked like a bit of indecision that time from Darren Smith. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to pull it or go ahead and give it to Georgie Ramirez, and that caused Ramirez to delay his takeoff a little bit there. But nonetheless, a decent carry there for Georgie Ramirez.
Osai Tuele with that tackle right there for the Jackrabbits. We'll say his name a lot. Gain of 3 for Ramirez, 2nd and 7 from their own 20-yard line. Smith will split them out. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Low snap, Smith fires, complete. Pearson over the middle of the field on that far hash. Out across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Michael Pearson making the reception. And we have to double check that. I'm not sure that Michael Pearson has made a catch this year. So fantastic job. Michael Pearson has 2 catches now after that one, and his first one was good for 5 yards. I think he got about 7 on that play. So a nice job there by Pearson securing the football. He's a good-sized target, too, for the quarterback, Darren Smith.
Yeah, Smith able to set his feet that time, deliver the ball to Pearson, and a nice connection there for the Mountain Lions.
1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Empty set for Smith. This time they give to Ramirez, and there's a penalty on the play. It looks like it's procedure against Red Mountain. You can tell that the club has a different feel about how they started this game. I mean, there's a sense of calm about them, but they're playing kind of loose, and there's always going to be a few early mistakes in a contest, but Red Mountain looks like they're very comfortable in their own skin here in this one tonight.
Yeah, well, after that bye week, it might take a few plays, maybe even a few series for these guys to get their wits about them and settle down, really get into the game, and execute this game plan for Coach Peterson and the Mountain Lions.
Jared Wilson has checked in at 1 wide receiver position. He'll be in the slot. Right behind him is Kalem Reese-Peebles. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Out of the gun, it is going to be the quarterback Darren Smith to the outside. Looks like it's Rivera making the reception, and Rivera shoots up that sideline. He'll pick up about 6-7 yards, and he makes his first catch of the game. And for Rivera, he was the leading receiver with 5 catches in that victory over Mountain View.
Yeah, big-time target for Darren Smith is Ramses Rivera. So far, Red Mountain's offense doing a great job tonight, getting the football out on the perimeter. The edge pressure is coming quickly from Mesa, but Darren Smith able to avoid that pressure and deliver the football.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 7. This is Smith with time from the pocket. Fires a strike over the middle of the field. It's caught by Peebles, and he breaks a tackle at the 50 into Jackrabbit territory, and he's going to be dropped around the 47-yard line. Nice throw there by Darren Smith, right on the money. That delivery was perfect by the quarterback.
A beautiful frozen rope that time from Darren Smith there into Kalim Reese-Peebles, and breaking tackles after that catch was Peebles as well. Yards after contact, and a nice pickup there again for that Red Mountain offense.
For Peebles, his 17th reception of the season, and once again for the second time tonight, the Mountain Lions are in Jackrabbit territory. First time they've earned their way in. First time was a challenging punt for the Jackrabbits. This is Darren Smith from the pistol, wants to wind up, going deep, looking for Rivera. He's there, and the ball is batted down and broken up. Looked like it was Eddie McClendon there in the secondary, and Rivera with that speed was out there and was open briefly, and McClendon with some closing speed of his own right got there to deflect that one.
Yeah, Ramses Rivera 6'1", McClendon 6'1" as well, but it was all about position that time. McClendon had the better position defensively and able to swat that one away from Ramses Rivera.
I like the play call by Tabor Lamar and Chris Andrew on us. Just take some chances. Why not take some shots down the field?
I agree wholeheartedly.
2nd and 10 from the Jackrabbit 48-yard line. Molina to the far side with Kalim Reese-Peebles, and there's movement on the near side. I think Michael Pearson might have jumped early. And for Pearson, just trying to work his way into this lineup and be a contributor. Already has 1 catch tonight, but perhaps some nerves for the youngster here, getting his action early on.
Yeah, a little bit of jitter still. It's still first quarter, almost a little over halfway through the first quarter now, but young guy getting in there and getting some reps for this Red Mountain offense.
Back to the keys of the game, James, for Red Mountain on offense. The offensive line must block someone on every play. The 3-3 stack, they run bodies at you from all different directions. It may not be the correct guy to block, but just block somebody. That's from Coach Peterson. Put a hat on somebody, if you will, please. Smith back to the air, fires, complete far side of the field. I believe that's Kalim Reese-Peebles once again making the reception. And how about the Slim Reaper? He is just sure-handed as Alec Romero knocks him out of bounds.
Yeah, great reception there from Reese-Peebles out on the outside, and so far he's the hot target here tonight for Darren Smith. They've connected a few times so far.
That's the 2nd reception tonight for Kalim Reese-Peebles. That is a gain of 7 yards. So it'll be 3rd, and we'll call it a long 5 from the 42-yard line of Mesa. Smith out of the gun. 4 wide receiver package this time, and now we're going to have a penalty. The head linesman in on that, and he'll make the call.
You know, Mesa's defense is doing a great job here so far of trying to show blitzes. Unfortunately, they got caught that time, jumped off sides a little bit there, but they are bringing the heat, and that might be causing Red Mountain's offense to jump a little bit here and there, but that one's going to be on the Jackrabbits.
Our AIA officiating crew tonight, the referee is Randy Presentine. Our umpire is Torrance Williams. The back judge is Pat Peters. Our line judge is James Moore, and the linesman is John Warder. Our AIA officiating crew here this evening for this one. Red Mountain, with the benefit of that penalty, will cash in. They'll move up 5 yards. 1st and 10 for the 37-yard line. And this time before Darren Smith can get loose here, the whistle blows, and this play won't even get going because there's a procedure penalty assessed to Red Mountain.
Well, with all the injuries up front, especially on the offensive line, they got to be able to communicate. A lot of that 3-3 stack is built off of showing blitzes and disguising blitzes up front and trying to trick those offensive linemen. And I think they're jumping just a little bit on that. They got to hold their water and wait till the snap count.
Once again, those guys up front, Ben Bray, the left tackle, Holma at left guard, Saucedos the center, Carson Foster at right guard, and Jasper Parks, the big fella, at the right tackle. Low snap for Smith, wants to throw, steps up in the pocket, has good field, slides to the outside, dumps it over to Wilson. He makes the catch at the 35-yard line and gets a big chunk of that penalty right back. But a nice catch there as the wide receiver for Red Mountain, Jared Wilson, slipped into that second part of that zone there, got in a spot where there wasn't anybody there, and just made a great reception.
Yeah, soft zone on that time for Mesa, and Wilson able to find the soft spot there about 10, 12 yards down the football field, and a nice reception there for Red Mountain.
So the ball's going to be spotted on the 33-yard line, 2nd and 6. Gain of 9 yards for Wilson. Here goes Molina in motion. Flank to the right of Smith is Georgia Ramirez. And Georgia Ramirez was wide open, and getting hammered again behind the play was Darren Smith. This is a personal foul assessed to the Mesa Jackrabbits. It'll be a roughing penalty against Mesa. And we'll get to the individual who created that infraction, double force, number 44, I believe, was the guy there, putting the hit on Darren Smith. Looked like Sikope Bahia got in there. A lot of Polynesian influence here on Cap Sycamores football team. The Jackrabbits at 3-5. They're 1-2 in the East Valley region. So once again, James, Red Mountain will take advantage of a penalty by the Jackrabbits and move this football into the red zone. Ball spotted on the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 18. This is Ramirez running that wheel route. Smith going for the corner. It's going to be George Ramirez. He makes the catch for a touchdown. And if this play stands up, it's going to be an 18-yard touchdown reception from George Ramirez. And James, did it not look like he stepped out of bounds?
It sure did. He looked like he almost danced around the pylon and then came back in. But maybe the referee on that side did not see it because I have not seen an infraction.
Wow, that looked like he had stepped out and quickly came back in. Typically, you'd see the hat drop immediately, but the linesman was right there. It looked like he was in a good position. No call there. So back to the scoring play. What a throw by Darren Smith. Dropped that one in on a dime, and George Ramirez, again, doing a great job, but it was the route run by Ramirez that was impressive.
Yeah, a very crisp route for Georgia Ramirez on the outside there. He might have even swung his leg around that pylon, but credit as well to the offensive line up front. They provided excellent protection on that one when the play before they had about 3 free runners coming up the middle, so they shored that up really quick.
Touchdown pass number 2 in this game for Darren Smith. That's 14 on the season for Darren Smith. And for Georgia Ramirez, give him a touchdown in back-to-back games receiving-wise. That combination has hooked up yet again here. It's nice to get the football to your backs, and George Ramirez, he can catch the football as well as anybody.
He can. He catches the football. He runs it out of the backfield. They'll get him on the jet sweep. He does a number of things to contribute to this offense, and he has been a valuable asset the entire season.
Georgie, 7 carries, 61 yards rushing last week, but the damage he did was receiving. 2 catches for 50 yards, none bigger than that 50-yard touchdown reception from Darren Smith. That was late in the second half, and that was part of that 21 consecutive points for the Mountain Lions. And they went on that offensive outburst and took care of business and knocked off the arch rivals once again. Big game on ESPN tonight. Scottsdale Chaparral taking on the Pioneers from Pinnacle. And a very odd note, when the producers put that game together, they thought they'd be featuring Jack Miller, an Ohio State commit, and Spencer Rattler, an Oklahoma Sooner commit, and neither quarterback is going to take the snaps tonight in that game. So you could say that ESPN got jobbed on the marquee attractions for that one.
Yeah, well, we had to tell ESPN that we were booked for Red Mountain football that night, so unfortunately we're not able to be over there doing that game for them.
That usually is how it works. We're always double booked, aren't we? There's the return by the Mesa Jackrabbits right there to make a special teams tackle. It looked like number 10 down there. I think that's Javon Ivy making it happen on the special teams.
Yeah, Ivy coming off a little bit ginger there, but he was the one in on that play indeed for the special teams unit of the Mountain Lions.
Nice return there by the Jackrabbits. This time was Arthur Morgan. Morgan 5'8", $140. Unofficially about a 25-yard return, but Connor Gardner again puts that ball in a tough spot for the return game and sets his teammates up on special teams to get down there and make it difficult.
This is where Coach Kyle Enders will have the defensive line coming after you.
4 down linemen. Hiram Bourne starts at that cap position. This is the Jackrabbits. They want to run the football, and they do run it, but they'll run right into this stout front 4. And here comes one of the linebackers to clean plays up, and that is Anthony Giraldi. Giraldi, paired with Francis Kumi, put a stick on the ball carrier that time.
Yeah, an excellent job reading the front. The lineman blocked down that time. They did a great job shedding the block, getting in the backfield, and making the stop. Nice job there for the Red Mountain defense.
The back tried to change his direction, and when he did so, he ran right into that tandem of Kumi and Giraldi. And by the way, my pick to click here, our impact player tonight on offense, Georgie Ramirez. On defense, Anthony Giraldi, and I like Darren Smith also. Pass to the outside, Isaac Thompson in coverage. That time he was defending the tailback, Boyd Mox. And boy, Isaac Thompson, a nice job at coverage as Mendoza's pass a little bit too tall.
Yeah, Isaac Thompson had curl the flat responsibility on that play there. Did a nice job trailing Boyd Mox out in the flat there and forcing that incompletion.
By the way, for Giraldi, give him 60 tackles on this season. That was 59 going into the ball game, and I'm sure he contributed right there for number 60 with Francis Kumi. So have a night, Anthony Giraldi. 3rd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Hiram Bourne is in. They fake a blitz, they back out. This is Mendoza to the far side. His pass is complete on the sideline. We'll see if they mark him inbounds. Making the reception was Bishon Foster Jr. And for Mendoza, he just kind of dropped that one over the defense, James, and it was a pretty good ball.
Yeah, he put that one right in there that time for Mesa. And Red Mountain's doing a great job of getting pressure up the field. These bigger offensive linemen for Mesa are having trouble with Kumi and Alexander Randall in front, using their size and their speed more than anything to get in that Mesa Jackrabbit backfield.
So the pass was ruled incomplete. Bishon Foster Jr. didn't have the footwork complete, so they'll be forced to punt. Wow. Big leg this time, and Molina is going to let this one sail right by him. Great punt that time by Max Montez de Oca. Montez de Oca, 6'1", 180, just put a charge into that one with his right leg.
Wow, a beautiful spiraling punt that time. An excellent job there for de Oca.
It looked like Riley Pagel-esque, didn't it?
It did. Pagels oftentimes would get over that middle light there a number of times.
Thus nicknamed Hang Time.
Yes.
Riley Pagel. What a tremendous young man. A shout out to the Pagel family. Always appreciate the candor and conversation with them before games, after games. It doesn't matter. Just a stand-up group and a tremendous family. And Pops, good old Ross, good guy too. There's Molina in motion. This is Smith under center. Turns around, hands it to Ramirez, and Ramirez is going to be stood up on the far side. Nice job there by Mesa. Providing the pressure was Alex Lonkar. And Lonkar, first one to get him, 6', 275. You talk about clogging the interior. Well, Mr. Lonkar is a good reason for that.
Yeah, Lonkar had great pad level that time, able to shed the block from the left guard and make the play on the Red Mountain ball carrier.
Kalem Reese-Peebles breaks out of the huddle to the far side. 2 wide receivers for Smith. It's Molina and Reese-Peebles. Play fake. This is Smith under pressure, steps aside from the pressure, fires complete to Zach Molina. And what's impressive about that play, as McClendon comes in and puts a pop on Molina as he was kneeled to the turf, but it was what Zach Molina did without the football to come back to the quarterback who was in trouble. Nice job there, and an excellent pitch and catch by Darren Smith to Zach Molina.
Yeah, very heads-up play there for Zach Molina, knowing his quarterback was under duress and pressure was coming up the field immediately. Number 3 in pursuit, that was Bishon Foster Jr. for Mesa. Right in the face of Darren Smith, he was able to elude that pressure, step aside, and flushed out of the pocket, but make the connection with Zach Molina. Nice job.
For Molina, his second reception of the night. He's now over 400 yards receiving. He's got 26 catches. There goes Kalem Reese-Peebles. Trips to the far side. There's a student body left. This is George Ramirez trying to get to the outside to the 30, 35, 40, and taking on tacklers, and he gets shoved out of bounds on the far sideline there. But a nice job of running there by number 22, Georgie Ramirez.
And how about Ramirez as he got to the corner, lowering the shoulder on that defender and picking up the extra yardage. Full-grown man play there for Georgie Ramirez.
I call that delivering some punishment, and he does just that. Deontay Elliott out tonight, so Georgie Ramirez getting the start, and he has been the ball carrier here with significance here early on in this first quarter. Jarquel Garner has taken a couple snaps. He has yet to carry it. Full wide receiver package for Smith. Back to throw. Has time from the pocket. Throws, and it's complete. Reese-Peebles at the 50 again, and he'll kick it across to the 47-yard line. And once again, Kalem Reese-Peebles right there in that zone, right at the 50-yard line. Another perfect delivery of the football by Darren Smith.
Yeah, Darren Smith once again under pressure, able to step up. He had about 3 guys in his face that time, somehow able to find Peebles there sitting down in the zone and whip the ball right across to him. another first down for Mountain Lions, and they are moving the chains again.
12-yard pickup, Darren Smith to Kalem Reese-Peebles, the Slim Reaper, having himself a big first quarter. Changing the play at the line of scrimmage is Darren Smith. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. This is Ramses Rivera, and now Darren Smith recognizes that there is no time on the play clock. He takes a timeout. That's a heady play by your quarterback right there, James Booty.
Very heady play, yes, indeed, to avoid the delay game. You don't want to be backed up after a nice job moving the football down the field, so you got to burn a timeout and live to fight another down.
It's senior night here on the campus of Red Mountain High School, and I mentioned that sense of calm early in the ball game. It is a glorious Arizona evening. I mean, you couldn't draw it up any better. Not a cloud in the sky. It's crystal clear. It's a great temperature, about 74 degrees. And this football team is just playing sound early on. A lot of football to play, but how they've started games in the past, James, we've seen them have self-inflictions, and tonight you haven't seen that. It's just a cleaned up, more fundamentally sound presentation here this evening.
Yeah, playing sound fundamental football, not very many penalties. On defense, they're making sound open field tackles, not giving up that big play. They've done a nice job on the back end and coverage so far here tonight, and so they'll look to continue that here against Mesa. This is going to be a good game.
Parker McClure has checked in at tight end. This is the give to Garner, his first carry of the night. Starts inside, bounces it out to the far hash, and he's going to be tackled after about a 7-yard run by number 18, Jaden Green. 5'10", 180. He's a junior for the Jackrabbits, comes up there to make that stop.
Boy, these Red Mountain running backs, they know how to deliver the lumber that time. Pinballed that time is the best way I know how to describe that tackle, because he made the stop, but not before he got it from Jarquell Garner.
Yeah, Jarquell, again, punishing the defenders, and that's something that the Red Mountain backs have done. They played with more physicality as we move on. Play fake for Smith. All kinds of time. Pass complete, near side, making the reception. Zach Molina makes a juju at the 35-yard line, gets to the 30-yard line, and he's going to be tackled right there. But what a move did Zach Molina put on. You talk about a shoulder dance and a little juju with those feet. That was special.
Great move there by Zemo. He was one-on-one in the open field where there was 23, Edwin McClendon. Made a move on him to the inside, and ultimately McClendon came up with the ultimate stop, but not before Zemo made a move and picked up another first down for Red Mountain.
McClendon and Bishon Foster Jr. had to reestablish their geographical location that time to find the right angle to get on Zach Molina. So Zemo with 3 receptions in the first quarter. Our first 12 minutes are in the books from Red Mountain High School on senior night. Our score from this East Valley Region contest game. Red Mountain 14, Mesa 7. Back after this brief timeout.
Everything flowers as well as ready to the mix. Visit them on the web at cottage.com.
Your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
We welcome you back to the Red Mountain TV on the Mountain Lion Broadcast Network on YouTube. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Booby. 14-7 our score. First play of the second quarter. Moving right to left are the Mountain Lions. Play fake for Darren Smith. Roll to the near side. Pass is going to be complete by Parker McClure at the 25-yard line, and he'll hightailing up the near sideline to the 20 to the 15-yard line, and maybe inside the 15 is going to be run out of bounds right there. Making the tackle or the force out is Jade Green, and there is the true freshman Parker McClure making his first ever catch as a member of the varsity unit. And boy, can Parker McClure play some football. An outstanding talent. We have yet to see him play linebacker because that is his forte, but he's a good football player. What an athlete. 37, Parker McClure.
Yeah, an excellent job that time for McClure. And as well, Darren Smith rolling out, excellent protection up front as well.
Smith to give to Garner. Big hole up the middle, makes a cutback, and he is going to be close to the goal line. Penalty marker comes in, a late flag from the back judge. but you don't see Jarquell Garner sliding around like that, but the cutback in the middle of the field gave himself a chance to score a touchdown, and he was stopped near the goal line.
Yeah, a bit of a zone read on that one there. The offensive lineman covering up their defenders, letting the back find the hole. Garner trying to find the cutback lane there, but unfortunately it looks like there's going to be a penalty flag, and it's going to be assessed to Red Mountain.
Garner, the second leading rusher on this team, only by 5 yards. If you can believe it, Deontay Elliott leads the club in rushing with 347 yards. Garner started the game with 342. The difference here is Elliott has played in only 3 games, where Garner has played in 7 now. Jarquell does lead the club in touchdowns with 7. So he has been a contributor, no doubt about it. So a penalty is going to send him back. This will be a first down and 12 from the 15-yard line of Mesa. They give it to Garner, and Garner's going to be belted right at the line of scrimmage. He was met and stood up, and they just finally knocked him down to the ground. Tavita Tonga there to lead the charge defensively for the stop for the Mesa Jackrabbits. Tonga, 6'4", 220-pounder, plays a lot of different positions for Camp Sickahama. D tackle, plays a little end, also will do a little fullback duty also.
Yeah, he played some outstanding defense that time. Did Tavita Tonga, able to shed his block immediately, and he was right there in the face of Jarquell Garner with an excellent form tackle and brought him to the turf.
That block he shed was from the 5'10", 235-pound Carson Boston. So Red Mountain will take a timeout. Couldn't quite get the play call in that they wanted for this situation here, leading 14-7, 11:01 to go. How'd you enjoy the bye week, James?
It was great. Had a family night at home last Friday night. We thought about going out for some football, but it didn't pan out. But we had a great evening and did some college football last Saturday night.
Now, when you have the whole plan there, what do you guys do for fun if you were to get together? Do you watch something on TV? Do you do a board game? Do you have fellowship? How do you guys enjoy your time?
Yeah, the kids like to play games and maybe a little bit of Wii or stuff like that. We've been outside a lot lately because the weather's finally cooperating, so that helps out. Put them on the trampoline for a little bit here and there. Maybe they always have to have water though. Always got to be water squirting around somewhere. Yeah. Kids and water.
This is the time of the year we like to sell the high rent district here in the Valley of the Sun. But this is absolutely sensational weather. All right, out of the timeout, 2nd and 12. From the Mesa 15-yard line. Georgia Ramirez now flanked to the left of Darren Smith as Mesa showing blitz here. 3 wide receivers now. There goes Molina. And coming unabated to the quarterback is number 43. And Asaya Tawele comes in, and he got to the quarterback uncontested. There was nobody on that left side. You talk about blowing somebody off the ball there. I'm not sure where Ben Bray was on that particular play, but you have to credit Tawele to get to the quarterback for a big sack.
Yeah, Tawele got in there. I believe they left him unblocked as they were trying to go to the opposite side of the football field, but Darren Smith with no time as he was bearing down on him right away, and he delivered a shot.
That's the 6th sack of the year for Tawele. No stranger to getting after the quarterback. 3rd and 21 from the 24-yard line. 4 wide receivers for Smith. Under pressure, steps in the pocket, delivers, and the ball is caught. And diving in for a touchdown is Zach Molina. Oh, what a catch by Zach Molina. And that was a beautifully thrown ball by Darren Smith. The 3rd touchdown pass of the half for Darren Smith.
Once again, pressure coming up the middle from Mesa's defense in the A and B gap that time, but Darren Smith able to step up, keep his calm, and find Zach Molina down near the goal line, deliver a strike, and Zemo did the rest, bending his back and getting it in for 6.
Once again, with a phenomenal route, Zach Molina, again, slips into that zone, past the secondary, made the catch, and then the second effort to get into the end zone for the touchdown. Zach Molina, a 21-yard touchdown reception for Zemo. That is his 3rd, making his 4th touchdown catch of the year, his 2nd of the night, as Smith has found Molina twice this evening.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a game tonight, Zach Molina. I have a feeling we'll be speaking to him in the postgame tonight on the field, but Zach Molina getting it done here on senior night for Red Mountain.
Darren Smith, 3 touchdown passes in the first 14 minutes of this one. It's now 21-7 as Connor Gardner drills the extra point right in between the uprights. And with 10-11 to go until halftime for Red Mountain High School on Senior Night, Mountain Lions have grown their lead to 2 touchdowns here.
Well, if you're the defense for Red Mountain, you got to be happy with a 14-point cushion here in the second quarter of action. And your defense is playing well too, so it's looking good right now for the Mountain Lions. They're going to keep it going here.
Should be mentioned, the offensive line gave Darren Smith great time to throw that football, but again, Darren Smith, his presence in the pocket to slide into that open area to get himself free to deliver a strike, and then Molina, yeah, you can say he did the rest, but the hands work to spear that football out, and he had a little hump to it, didn't it?
Yeah, it was moving because Smith had to get it there in a hurry, but once again, Darren Smith, he just has an innate ability to feel the pressure coming around him, and he does a really good job of using his peripheral vision as well.
Back deep, this is Morgan from the corner to the 5 to the 10. Angles across the field to the 20, and at the 20-yard line, he's going to be dropped right there, maybe the 19-yard line. Coming up to make the special teams tackle once again is number 7, Hiram Boren.
Yeah, Boren has really done a great job on special teams this year for Red Mountain. He came up and made a stick that time. Nice job there for Hiram Boren.
Hiram Boren with that club on that right wrist of his is playing the catbacker position. He's playing next to Comey. So with the injuries and the injury to Jacob Griffin, Hiram Boren has been doing an admirable job in practice, learning yet another position for this young man wearing number 7, the junior.
Very versatile player, Hiram Boren. He's done a number of things for this Red Mountain Football Club.
Mendoza, full wide receiver package, goes to the outside, making the catch this time is number 13, that's Morgan. And Morgan out across the 25-yard line to the 30, and it's going to be tackled right there. So a 10-yard reception for Arthur Morgan, and that was a quick delivery of the football by Gavin Mendoza.
Yeah, nice job getting it in there for Mendoza. And for the Red Mountain defense closing in that time, it was Evan Umpta trying to make the stick, but he took the brunt of that one, but was able to get up under his own power with a little bit of help from a Mesa jackrabbit.
Evan Umpta right there to make the tackle. So we'll give it a 9-yard pass play. Mendoza to Arthur Morgan. 2nd and 1 from the 29-yard line of Red Mountain. And now we're going to get a penalty marker thrown on the field, and outside official, that's James Moore, indicates encroachment on Red Mountain. So the clock had struck 0 on the play clock, but the flag goes against Red Mountain for encroachment.
Encroachment before the ball snap?
Didn't even see that.
That's a new one.
Well, perhaps somebody lined up off sides. That is possible.
Maybe they were lined up in the neutral zone. Yeah, that's true.
So that's Shaq Daniels to the outside. This is Vasquez to the near side. High snap from Mendoza. Gives it off to Mox. And Mox is going to be grabbed in the backfield and taken down for a loss. It looked like 2 guys got there. Georgie Ramirez and Anthony Giraldi. And how about the 2s going wild in there?
Yeah, great job that time by those 2 guys staying in their defensive lanes, going up the field, not overrunning the play, and right there to smash the running back in the mouth for Red Mountain. A nice job for the defensive squad.
Well, Boyd Mox, the leading rusher for the Jackrabbits, if he starts to go east and west here, he's going to be in trouble all evening long.
Yeah, he's not able to run side to side. There's too much speed on this Red Mountain defense, and especially with those edge guys.
Give Giraldi and Ramirez a TFL. This is Mendoza. He fumbles the snap, and he's going to recover his own fumble. Getting there quickly for Red Mountain. Looked like Francis Kumi was there. And Trey Smith. And it should be noted that Trey Smith gets the start tonight at that left end spot. Trey Smith, 6'5", 210, coming off a 7-tackle game against the Toros. And he has earned himself a starting lineup here, and he's going to be playing next to Alexander Randall. How fun is that?
Yeah, Trey Smith has been right there for Red Mountain whenever they've called his number. Every time that play goes to his side, he's right there, stout on the line of scrimmage and making a play for that defense.
I just keep looking at Bourne wearing that cast. It's the quarterback out there playing rush and right now. This is fantastic stuff. Kyle Anders doing a great job putting guys in to make plays. This is a... Boy, it looked like Coach Sikahema tried to pull the old fumble Ruski right there. Something was strange because you had guys taking off and the ball had not been snapped. So perhaps it's a false start on the center. I'm not sure, but that is an interesting one. We'll be glad to have some information from our AIA officiating crew. Let's see what Randy Pressentine has to say about this one.
Well, the near side receiver, number 3, Bishon Foster Jr., was covered by Braden Jansen. He threw him to the turf immediately. Took off very early.
So it's going to be a procedure penalty assessed to Mesa. Now they'll be looking at a 3rd and 30 yards. They need the 44-yard line to move the sticks here for the Jackrabbits. Empty set here for Mendoza. McClendon to the far side of the field.
If you're Red Mountain, you don't let anyone behind you here.
Red Mountain, here comes Randall to the outside. Mendoza under pressure, steps through the pocket. Now he's going to run with it. And he's to the outside. And coming to tackle him from behind was Alexander Randall. We talk about the high-octane motor that AR plays with. He just showed you that right there.
Boy, Mendoza had no idea that AR was bearing down on him from the backside, but he was coming and he laid the lumber. Nice job there for Alexander Randall.
On the hunt, AR right there. And boy, you talk about turning on the Jets. We saw him play a little fullback and some tight end a couple of weeks ago against Mountain View. But Alexander Randall, when he gets a full head of steam going, look out. And here comes Kumi, and Kumi almost blocked the punt. And the punt is shanked to the far side, and Kumi comes off the sideline thinking he had just missed that one. Some frustration for number 80 right there.
Yeah, unfortunate for Francis Kumi. He was right there bearing down, just about had that one, but unfortunately not able to connect.
Kumi, a long, lanky young man. He is fired up tonight. Kumi, 6'5", 207. That is a great frame to play football with, no doubt about it.
He's quick, and he's got that full extension with those long arms, able to keep those linemen off his chest.
21-7 our score here, second quarter, 6:40 to go. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Bowie on the Red Mountain Broadcast Network on Red Mountain TV. Special thank you to Jeremy Knudsen and the fellas downstairs in the truck. First and 10 from the 41-yard line. Empty set for Strail this time. Strail to the outside, looks like it's Rivera on the sideline, and Rivera is going to pick up about 6 or 7 yards before he's knocked out of balance by 44, Sekope Bahia. So Bahia, another tackle from the outside linebacker, doing a nice job covering some real estate to get to the speedy Ramses Rivera.
Yeah, a nice reception on the outside there from Rivera, and a nice throw as well from Garrett Strail, able to stand in there and deliver it to the outside, get the football out quickly, and pick up some positive yardage there for Ramses.
This is a design series for Garrett Strail. Empty set, trips to the far side. Again, they'll go right back to that same play. Again, Rivera makes the catch. That's the 3rd reception of the night for Ramses. And Rivera will take the ball up the sideline, approaching midfield. The ball's going to be spotted right on the 50-yard line. So back-to-back plays for Ramses Rivera. Give him about 4 yards on each one. And it's now going to be set up with a 3rd and short at midfield here, working right to left. It's Garrett Strail's drive. 21-7, Mountain Lions leading.
Coach Mike Peterson trying to draw that defense to the far side of the football field. Look for him to maybe take a shot to the field side here. They got plenty of room to work.
A lot of real estate. This is Columbus. People that's lined up to the near side. One-on-one coverage if they choose to look this way. Strail pass is intended for Columbus people as on that slant, and the timing wasn't there that time for Red Mountain. So it's decision time here for Coach Pete, and maybe it's going to be an easy decision. Up by 14 points in midfield, you're going to pump the football. That's a smart play.
Yeah, Garrett Strail lucky that one was not picked off there as he threw it to Clemreese Peoples, who was essentially double covered. But ball falls incomplete, and the Mountain Lions will punt it away here.
Take nothing away from Garrett Strail. That was a pretty pass, but you just have to wonder if Smith was the quarterback right there. He has been red hot, and the accuracy for Darren Smith in this first half has just been perfect.
Indeed, yeah, if he's able to set his feet and has enough protection, that ball is going to be on target.
Garner left foot's one down to the 15-yard line. Another one inside the 20-yard line for Connor Gardner. Gardner's average at 34.9. He had a big special teams game against the Mountain View Toros. Knocked 3 inside the 20-yard line. In fact, he knocked 1 inside the 5 in that victory over Mountain View. And it really set up that defense because they ended up cashing in on a short field, and Anthony Giraldi recovered the fumble in the end zone. Fantastic game. Yeah,
Connor Gardner has been putting his defense in excellent position all year long, and you cannot underestimate the importance of having a good kicker that can do that more oftentimes than not.
21-7, 5:08 to go. Mendoza, shotgun snap, pass complete outside, and it was nearly intercepted. Right there defensively was Hiram Boren, and I thought it was Hiram, but I wanted to double check that. Hiram's out there playing essentially with one on there, and looked like he had a chance to maybe intercept that ball.
He did. He had great defensive position that time, and that's why I was able to make that tackle in the backfield for a loss. Nice job there, Hiram Boren. Wow, what a football player.
Boren having a standout performance here in this one. That is a loss of 3, so give Boren a tackle for a loss. 2nd and 13 from their own 10-yard line. Mendoza to the air again, pass complete, outside, ball is fumbled on the ground. Now they're gonna wave off the catch. Tanner Goodchild put a pop on number 3. That was Bishop Foster Jr., and that was what we call BS again, more ball separation.
Yeah, an excellent, an excellent close there on the outside that time for Tanner Goodchild. He timed that perfectly, and he struck the ball carrier as soon as that ball hit his hands and separated him, and that's why they did not call that a fumble, because he never even got it.
He wasn't able to make that football move, as they like to say. 3rd and 13. Here comes the Red Mountain defense. They're on a blitz. And Mendoza's going to go down. He's sacked. Mendoza was sacked on the play by Alexander Randall. And that's nearly a safety. So only, well, the forward progress will get Mendoza a spot around the, looked like the 3-yard line. Maybe it's the 2, but Alexander Randall, give him his 3rd sack of the year. Only 3 sacks for AR. Surprising number, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very surprising, but that was an impressive sack right there. You mentioned it was almost a safety. And how about Red Mountain's defense rising up there with Mesa deep in their own territory? Now they're going to punt it off their own end line again.
A 14th sack of the year for Red Mountain. See if Molina can't get one here and take it back to the house. 3:42 to go, 11 seconds on the play clock as Mesa will send out Bishop Foster Jr. late on this punt coverage. From his own end zone, putting it high in the sky is Max Montez de Aca. And this time he shanked it to the far side of the field, and once again, Red Mountain is gonna have absolute golden field position. They'll start this drive in Jackrabbit territory again, and it will be another great chance for the Mountain Lions to put some more damage and do more damage to the Jackrabbits, if you will.
Yeah, they would love nothing more here to have a nice little 3-minute and 24-second drive in this one with a touchdown and go into the locker room up 21 points on the Jackrabbits.
So we'll keep an eye on it. This is Garrett Strail. Garrett Strail, the senior quarterback, back on the field. 4 wide receivers now for Strail. There goes Molina in motion. Strail back to throw, looking up top, over the middle of the field. The ball's going to be picked off by Eddie McClendon at the 5. McClendon has it at the 15, the 20. He'll run out of bounds right there. I think Strail was trying to hit, looked like maybe Rivera in the end zone, but that ball was underthrown, and once again, Edwin McClendon steps in and makes a very athletic play.
Yeah, he did. A very nice display of athleticism there for Edward McClendon. Ramses Rivera had his defender beat, but unfortunately a little bit too much air, and the ball was underthrown there from Garrett Strail. McClendon did a nice job peeling back and picking that one off, going up and getting it for the Jackrabbits.
That is the 12th interception of the year for the Mesa Jackrabbits. And for McClendon, that is a team high 4th. So he's got ball skills, this Edwin McClendon. And we knew that coming into this game. So what the Jackrabbits needed was some life there for head coach Cap Sikahama. And to avoid that scoring situation, they have a chance to get back in the game. Ball's tipped, and the ball is going to flutter in the air, and it will be caught on the far side. I know they're going to say he's out of bounds. That ball hung in there like a putt, and James making the catch was Arthur Morgan, but it was out of bounds.
Wow, you see a pass go up that high, you can't help but get a little bit nervous on the far sideline there. But fortunately for Red Mountain, it is ruled incomplete. Looks like he tried to toe tap on the far sideline there, but unable to successfully complete the ball.
With an incomplete pass, the clock stops with 3:07 to go. 21-7, our score, Red Mountain leading the Mesa Jackrabbits here. With a win for Red Mountain, they can clinch the East Valley region. So a lot at stake here in this one. 3:07 remaining, as we just mentioned that. 2nd and 10 from their own 22-yard line. This is Mendoza on a play fake. Wants to roll to the outside and he's going to take on a tackler and he's going to get absolutely hammered right there at the line of scrimmage. Georgie Ramirez was the first guy to get there, and he put an absolute pop on the quarterback, and that changed everything for Mendoza.
Boy, I tell you, Georgie Ramirez standing tall in there. He squared up on that quarterback. 5'10", 170 is Georgie Ramirez, and gave Mendoza 180, 5'11", and he was having nothing to do with that. A nice form tackle there, and a nice pop there for Ramirez.
22, Georgie Ramirez, a standout.
Golly.
3rd and 9 from the 23-yard line. Mendoza from the pocket, avoids the pressure to the far side, throws, and he throws it out of bounds. That's a smart play by the sophomore quarterback, Gabby Mendoza, and applying pressure for Red Mountain. Number 80, Francis Kumi, and Trey Smith also there, applying hurries, if you will.
And how about number 9, Braden Jansen, 2nd and 3rd effort. He was blocked, then was blocked again, got off that block, and he ran that quarterback out of the pocket and forced the errant throw. An excellent job there for Braden Jansen as he comes off the field.
So Zach Molina back deep to receive this punt from Max Montez de Aca. Right-footed punter. He puts a leg into this one, and it's a short punt, bounces at the 50, and it takes a Red Mountain roll. Ball is loose at the 45-yard line. I'm not sure what the scramble's all about. The Jackrabbits say they've got the rock, and the only way they're going to have the football is if it touched a Red Mountain return man, and I did not see that. Did you, James?
I didn't see it, but I tell you what, Red Mountain has, once that fair catch is signaled, they have got to get away from that football.
I'm not sure why they continue to flirt with disaster right there.
Exactly.
This is a situation when that ball is starting to ricochet and bounce around and ping pong around. They need to get the Sam Hill out of the area.
I agree completely, and that might have bit them there if Mesa ends up keeping this one.
And now
they do.
And the Jackrabbits come up with the rock. Number 25, Dawson Smith, shows the football high in the sky, and Mesa again avoids another Red Mountain bullet this time, and they've got the football at the 45-yard line, trailing by 2 touchdowns. This is a chance for Capsica-Hema's team to get back in the ballgame. You've
heard it a million times. Peter, get away from the football. That's exactly what Red Mountain's got to do there, and they gave that ball to Mesa in great field position.
So Mendoza right back on the field, out of the gun, looking left all the way, looking for a home run ball, and the ball is going to be, again, batted down and knocked out of bounds. Shaq Daniels was stride for stride once again with Arthur Morgan, and for some reason, Morgan on those passes to the far side, James, he's not able to keep the football on the playing field.
Yeah, well, the reason he's not able to keep it in there is Shaq Daniels did a nice job in defense. He had great defensive position using that sideline as the extra defender, and he walled off that receiver just right so he could not haul that one in and come down inbounds.
It's interesting when you look into advanced scouting and you pay attention to what's going on, and Mesa is coming into this football game and they're doing and like to do just what they are doing right here. They throw the ball a little bit and they like to run longs, but it's Mendoza again scrambling around the pressure, gets away from Alta, and he's going to scramble out of bounds. And I think Evan Alta, check that, that's going to be Hiram Boren. Once again, Boren applying the pressure, and I think Boren is going to be credited with a sack on that play.
As well he should. Hiram Boren once again coming from the opposite side of the end position, able to run it down from the backside, and he's done an outstanding job in pursuit here tonight for Red Mountain's defense.
Hiram Boren out of that cat spot, JP. Give him a sack. He's got a tackle for loss, almost had a pick already. He's made 2 special teams tackles. He's been the player of the game in the first quarter and some change. 2 minutes to go to the break. Have a half, Hiram Boren, huh?
Wow. We're going to have to sign his cast, Kevin. That's an outstanding performance so far here tonight for Mr. Boren.
And there's a story about that cast, too. At one point,
do tell.
At one point, Hiram Boren had the cast removed. And then, I believe, was looking for medical clearance, couldn't get the medical clearance. And then in order to be eligible to play tonight, he had to have the cast back on. So where do you go to get a cast? Where's the drive-through cast shop here in the Valley. So it was very interesting to see how that came about for the Mountain Lions and their medical staff. Where they got Hiram Bourne casted up, and he's on the football field, and he's not only playing this game, but he's making an impact.
Oh, you wouldn't know he has a cast or any sort of hindrance whatsoever. Hiram Bourne tonight flying around the football field, reckless abandon, and he's making plays all over the field tonight for the Mountain Lions.
So with a timeout taken on the field, clock stopped at 1:59 to go. The Jackrabbits will be facing a 3rd and 13 from their own 42-yard line. They trail by 2 touchdowns. And Isaac Thompson will line up, take on Boyd Mox here in the slot. Lined up to the near side is again Vision Foster. Red Mountain showing blitz. 3rd and 13 for the sophomore Mendoza. Back to throw, 7-step drop, step up in the pocket, fires, and it's incomplete on the far side. Perhaps he's looking for McClendon. He was the closest receiver in the area, but once again the pressure of this front four by Red Mountain was relentless, and Mendoza had no time at all.
Yeah, nice job there. They showed blitz up front. They ended up bringing 3 with pressure, and they dropped 2 into coverage, but 3 was enough that time as Mendoza was not able to complete anything there against that Red Mountain defense.
There is a medical or police type situation here really close to Red Mountain, so we're not exactly sure what's going on there, but a lot of medical responders in the area. This is a bad situation for the punter, and he's going to be dropped. Alexander Randall up there to make a big-time tackle on the punter. Max Montez Diaca had no chance when he looked up and he saw the helmet coming at him. It was Alexander Randall, and he just got steamrolled.
Yeah, oftentimes Alexander Randall unblockable, and he was indeed that time able to get in there and force the pressure and force the miscue there for Mesa.
So JP, after Coach Pete, what do you do now here? You send Darren Smith back onto the field. It's 1st and 10 from the Jackrabbit 34-yard line. You have another short field here, and you definitely want to cash in on that last miscue by the Jackrabbits.
Indeed, you want to try to score it. You at least get out of here with a field goal right before the half.
4 wide receivers for Smith. All kinds of time. Throws, ball is caught by Molina, and he makes the tackle inside the 10-yard line at the 5. He'll throw him down to the ground at the 3-yard line, and once again, a beautifully thrown ball by Darren Smith, and he hits in stride Zach Molina with another 2-handed stab with that football. Great catch.
Yeah, nice crossing route that time from Zach Molina, and Darren Smith able to find him streaking down the football field. Excellent protection up front from that offensive line. And Darren Smith, we mentioned his accuracy earlier, and another one right in on target there for the Mountain Lions.
Gain of 31 yards. Darren Smith to Zach Molina. Have a night, Zemo. His 4th reception of the night, already has 2 touchdowns, and that combination here has really found some momentum here tonight.
Yeah, Zach Molina doing a great job streaking down the field for Red Mountain and hauling them in, but once again, Darren Smith providing the accuracy and delivering that football right where it needs to be.
It was nice to see Strel get out there and get some playing time, but you could see a little difference in just the delivery of the football down here in a short field.
Yeah, it's just outstanding. He's able to gauge his throws and do exactly what he needs to do to complete the ball, and he's got a very strong arm too, able to deliver it oftentimes on a frozen rope.
$1:37 to go, 21-7. Second quarter action. This is going to be a full house backfield for Darren Smith. This is Jarquel Garner. Gets the handoff off left tackle, and Garner is close to the goal line. He's going to be stopped just a little bit short. Garner making a bid for his 8th touchdown of the year. Running right behind Ben Bray and the big fella, Charlie Holop.
Yeah, nice push up front that time for the Red Mountain offensive line. Bray and Holop paving the way for Garner.
The turn to give to Jarquel, and he's going to walk in, and it looks like he scored a touchdown. We'll wait for the signal. They haven't put him up yet, and they're going to deny it. So Jarquel has denied his 8th touchdown of the year. The fullbacks are Anthony Giraldi and Parker McClure. So you got some big hogs right there. 2 tight end set. Michael Pearson's also in the ball game.
Boy, from the 1-inch line, let's see if they can't force the issue here and punch it into the end zone.
3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. The deep back is Jarquel Garner. It's Giraldi offset. The pitch to Garner. And Garner is going to walk into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown. On that toss sweep to the right, Garner goes in untouched for his 8th touchdown of the year for Red Mountain. And a nice job there sealing the edge by Carson Foster and Jasper Parks.
Yeah, an excellent job there. They brought in an extra lineman on the outside there, a little jumbo package, and they sealed off that edge, and there was no answer. Jarquor Garner stepped into the end zone for the easy touchdown. The
freshman Parker McClure also in on that play, making things difficult for the Jackrabbits. Full rush under a great hold there by Garrett Strail, and Connor Gardner drills the PAT right between the uprights. 32.8 to go in the first half. Our score, Red Mountain 28 and the Mesa Jackrabbits 7. And James Poobie, what's going on?
Listen to the Lions Den podcast with head coach Mike Peterson every Wednesday. Show host Kevin Derryberry enjoys conversation with Coach Peterson about tonight's game against the Mesa Jackrabbits, Chalk Talk, the Varsity Player of the Week, and a preview of next week's opponent, the Westwood Warriors. The Lions Den podcast heard every Wednesday.
James, a quick shout out to the Mesa High marching band. What a performance pregame. Really enjoyed that. The national anthem was fantastic, and they had a lot of pageantry out here. What a history for this band, the Mesa Jackrabbits. They've attained 5 state championships and 9 consecutive top 7 finishes over the past 9 years in the ABODA state championships. So kudos to the Jackrabbits. One aspect of football that's underrated, that's the marching band. I've always enjoyed the band and the element that they bring to this pageantry here called high school football.
And we've been treated to a number of outstanding bands this season. Mountain View was really good last 2 weeks ago, and that Cesar Chavez band was pretty good out there in Levine as well.
As a percussionist, James, you can appreciate that, I'm sure.
I do.
Bouncing kick on the end around. This time they give it to Mox, and Mox at the outside, and he will go absolutely nowhere because he runs into a special teamer that time. It looked like it was Jackson Beecher down there on the play. And how about JB getting down there and contributing to this football team?
Excellent job closing in on Boyd Mox, who is a load for Mesa, 5'9", 180, the senior for the Jackrabbits. But I tell you what, Jackson Beecher did a nice job coming up and form tackling him right out of bounds on the near sideline.
So what does Capsica Hama do, trailing by 3 touchdowns? The thought would be just take a knee and get the heck out of here, but it looks like they might want to go to war here and try to get themselves back in this football game. This is a chance for Red Mountain to really make it difficult with a sophomore quarterback. They don't want to throw it. Here comes Bourne to the outside. It's dumped off by Mox at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, down the sideline, 25, and he's going to be roughed out of bounds right around the 30-yard line. Making a tackle there late was Randall, and also Jesus Vasquez came in there with a shove to finish off the play, if you will.
Yeah, credit to Coach Sikahema on that. Great play call there to the outside, trying to get as many yards as he can and have him dip out of bounds, which he did, and live to play another down.
Gain of 13, Mendoza to Mox. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of Red Mountain. Again, dumped out in the flat by Mox, and he's going to be wrapped up right away by Jesus Vasquez. Nice job there with some great technique wrapping up Mox, and that's just really, really good form. As you mentioned, take away that word, that's a great form tackle right there by Jesus Vasquez.
Once again, that's credit to the Red Mountain coaching staff. They have those guys. They've had 2 weeks to work, and it's shown. They are doing a great job tackling in open space, and they're not giving up some of those big plays and those big runs that they have in weeks past.
Good technique there by Jesus Vasquez, and this Red Mountain defense playing inspired football. 11.3 left on the game clock on this senior night here from Red Mountain High School. A lot at stake for the Mountain Lions. They want to finish the deal here and win this East Valley region. And how about it, one note for Skyline, they'll be without their head coach tonight. Angelo Pafumi is not coaching that game due to some sort of a mishap during one of the lower level games earlier in the week. I think it was the freshman game. Apparently got into it with somebody and was ejected there, and well, they won't let him coach the varsity game tonight here. So the Coyotes continue to be besieged by challenges on the field as well as off the field.
Yeah, a very unfortunate incident when Skyline came over here to Red Mountain a few weeks back. 11.3 left for Gabby Mendoza.
This is going to be a different quarterback this time. This is a Wildcat package. This is number 8. This is Gus Owens. And Gus Owens will take the direct snap, and he will go right up the middle of the field and pick up about 8 yards. And that could very well be the, no. Oh, yes, it going to take a timeout. So Coach Sickahema will take a timeout with 4.1 on the game clock here. Now, this is a call I don't necessarily agree with by Coach Sickahema. He's down by 3 touchdowns. He's moved the football in 2 plays. He's 60 yards away with 4.1 ticks on the game clock. Do you like the strategy?
Well, I don't. I would just think that if you're, obviously he wants to take a shot here, or why else call the timeout. But I would have taken a couple of shots already. But they moved the football pretty decently from where they started this drive. But we'll see. 4.1 on the clock.
Biggest difference from the first quarter to the second quarter, probably the in-game adjustments by Coach Enders, Coach Peterson, because McClendon beat him early, and McClendon has not beaten Red Mountain's defense since that big play, the 72-yard touchdown early in the first quarter.
Yeah, they have bottled up McClendon. He did make a couple plays on the defensive side of the ball for the Jackrabbits, but offensively, they've shut him down, especially here in the second quarter.
So Coach Sickahema will send out his unit once again. We'll double check and see who that quarterback is. It is going to be Gus Owens. So Owens is a sophomore. Empty set for Gus Owens. So for one sophomore to the other, taking the snap, looking over the entire field, and he's going to be belted, and I believe the ball is going to be fumbled on the ground. Picked up by the Jackrabbits. It's Gus Owens, covers his own football, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds by Hiram Porin, going over there, using that club to his advantage, and we got a sack in the middle of the play. I want to say that was Randall, but we'll have to double check that. If it was AR, it's the second sack of the game.
I'm not sure he got him down, Kev. I think he somehow was able to stay up and scored it out of there and got to the far side. I'd have to see it again.
I thought the ball was I thought it was a strip sack and fumble, and Owens picked up the fumble and went to the outside. That's how I saw it,
wow.
But we will have to go to the film and find out. But what we do know, James, is that we are at the break on senior night with this Hawaiian theme. And, well, 20 minutes on the Long Jeep scoreboard. Our score, Red Mountain 28, Mesa 7. Stay with us for all of our halftime festivities coming up next.
At this time, please direct your attention to the field for the 2018 Red Mountain Varsity Prom. Again, one more time for the Red Mountain Varsity Prom. At this time, we please ask that you direct your attention to the football field and join me in congratulating 9 of our Red Mountain seniors for their academic excellence related to the ESAT exam and the National Merit Scholarship Program. They're going to be on the front of the track. We first like to recognize our National Hispanic Scholars. Each year, the National Hispanic Recognition Program recognizes approximately 5,000 outstanding Hispanic or Latino juniors from across the country, based on the VSAT exam and application. Red Mountain High School is proud to announce the following students have been selected as National Hispanic Scholars. Nathan Campos, Adrian Kwiatkowski, Vincent Moore, Vanessa, Abby Osorio Coronado, and Brandon Garcia. Next, we'd like to announce the National Merit Committed Students. National Merit Committed Students. Over 1.6 million students nationwide took the PSAT exam last fall, and each of the following students scored over top 1% of all students across the country. We were recently notified these students received an additional recognition through the National Merit Scholarship Program in the committed category, providing additional recognition and scholarship opportunities for their college. This year's National Merit Committed Students are Victoria Hall, Adrian Kwiatkowski, Blake McAvoy, Vincent Moore, and D'Angelo Perez. Congratulations to these outstanding individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the field of Red Mountain Marching Pride. This year's show titled Aurora features the music Starry, Starry Night by Don McClain. Music of the Spheres and Symphony number 12 by Shostakovich. The Red Mountain Marching Pride would like to acknowledge the following sponsors: Woods Lawn and Power Equipment, Velocity Mechanical, Technical Systems, Milano Music Center, the Tempe Marketplace, Music and Arts, Superstition Sunrise Luxury RV Parks, and Napa Auto Parts off Elliott Road. And a reminder that the Marching Pride of Red Mountain will be competing tomorrow at the Boda, located at Corona del Sol High School. 5:15 start time. time, we would like to announce our seniors, the 2018 seniors of the marching band. First up is Jared Argente. Jared is escorted by Father John Argente. Jared is the lead saxophonist, officer of multiple clubs, a composer for the band, and very active in the community. After graduation, he plans a double major in musical education as well as music, composition, and theory. Next up is Wyatt Donofrio, escorted by parents Amy and Robert. Wyatt is a 4-year member of the marching band, 3 years on horn, and 3 years of violin. After graduation, Wyatt attends a Purdue University degree to major in nursing. Next we have Anna Fulmer, escorted by Father Steve. As a senior member of the Color Guard. After graduation, she plans to study political science at Arizona State University. Our next senior is Lady Gomez. Escorts our Casino Mesa. Amy is proud to be participating in the Red Mountain Marching Band. After graduation, she plans to become a nurse and attend trade school with the Maricopa County Community College Program. Our next senior is Ina Beto, escorted by parents Natalie Bush. Ina played volleyball and basketball, and is proud to be a member of the band in Marching Pride. After graduation, she plans to go to college and major in astrophysics. Our next up is Ruby Guerrero, escorted by parents Erica and Jessica. Ruby is a 4-year member of the Red Mountain Marching Band and the Color Guard practice. After graduation, she plans to attend college at MCC and on to Arizona State University, majoring in nursing. Next up is Maya Heater, escorted by her parents Christina and David. Maya is proud to be surviving the late nights of procrastination and giving up 4 years of her life to become a labeled band nerd. After graduation, she'll be traveling this summer and attending MCC in the fall of 2018. Our next senior is Anna Hurley, escorted by parents Julie and Alex Hurley. For a combination of being a top 20 sophomore in the junior year and survived 3 years as new freshman. After graduation, she plans to attend college. Our next senior is Melissa Rowe, escorted by parents Amanda and David. Melissa has been consistent to advanced classes, and in high school her interest was in the medical field and open opportunities to study at Johns Hopkins. After graduation, she plans to go to the University of Arizona and graduate with a bachelor's in nursing and become an RN for pediatrics and hospitals. Later going out of state as a bachelor's in nursing practitioner. Our next senior is Mackenzie Alicia. Escorted by parents Molly Hickley. During high school, she played 6 instruments, finishing 2 classes in 1 quarter, participated in TSW, read over 100 books and 4 years of marching band. After graduation, she plans to attend MCC for 2 years of finishing at Black Rose Tattoo. She's passionate about becoming a tattoo artist here in Maricopa County. Our next speaker is Paige Savory, escorted by parents Robert and Rachel. During high school, she won Choices number 4, part of Honors Band, National Honor Society. Alex crew for 2 years, Marching Pride Student Section Leaders, Letter of Performing Arts, played Stiff Fair, Trust, and a Triumph Music Honor Society. After graduation, she'll be attending the University of Michigan, majoring in biomedical science, and participating in the Christian is an honors band marching choir member and a member of the choir. After graduation, he attends to attend Arizona State University. Our next senior is Cameron Sexton, head coach of Brandon. The high school is named Russell, president of the choir. Stays within the top 5% of his class, all through high school. After graduation, he plans to attend the University of Arizona, majoring in electrical and computer engineering. Our next senior is Kayla Gable, escorted by her parents, Kayla Randy. She's been in the marching band at Akron for 4 years. Was in the Quick 38 Honors Family Musical, Collected Adams Family Musical, and the Mary Poppins Musical. After graduation, she plans to attend Eastern Arizona College, become a teacher, and serve a mission for her church. Our next senior is Maddie Stone, escorted by her parents, Bridget and Scott. Maddie was a marching band freshman year Colorado member, during her sophomore, junior, senior, a symphonic band member, and during her freshman and sophomore, winter guard member. After graduation, she plans to study veterinary assistant medicine at East Valley Institute of Technology. Our final senior is Sam Bannister, escorted by her Sam graduation, and he once did the scholarship under the exit sign of the Bandery, and landed on the track. After graduation, he plans to pursue music and do his passion. And let's give a big round to the 2018 seniors of the Red Mountain Marching Band. Let's welcome everybody back to the second half. A reminder that you can listen to the Lions this podcast at Coach Mike Peterson and his headquarters. With your host, Kevin David. Enjoy conversation with Coach Peterson about tonight's game. Talk, the varsity player lead, and preview next week's opponent, the Westwood Warriors. The Lions this podcast is every Wednesday. Arizona Fusion Cheer, Arizona Roofing Force, Athlete Construction, Harold Pizza, Big Auto Glass, Christian Sinclair, Barnes Athletics, Steve Barnes Technology, Dixon Juniors, Steve Brown Sports, Miller Road Dental Care, Dr. Kurt Gardner, Eric Warren, Ian Jets, Johnson Law Office, Matilda Cross, Outdoors, David Outdoors Landscape and Design, North Mesa, Performance Chiropractic, Dr. Kyle Monkey, Tom Brown, Colorado, Red Mountain Cleaners, Lemonade Hope Rhode Island, West Purpose, or 5 RMTV.com. Safeway, that's Firearm Creations, Steve's Crazy Seven, the Walkout. Again, a big thank you to the Red Mountain Steel Line sponsors.
Back to halftime, or the second half, if you will. That 20-minute halftime was a blur here on senior night as they recognize the members of the band here for Red Mountain, and we are underway for this second half. And back deep for Red Mountain, it looks like it's Ramses Rivera from the 5 to the 10 to the 15 to the outside to the 40-yard line, and he makes a move, and he's going to be tackled by the place kicker, Max Montez de Oca, and that is a fantastic return by Rivera.
Ramses the Rocket Rivera on the outside there, a little shimmy and shake there as he approached the kicker, Max Montes de Oca, and lowered his shoulder there on him a little bit, picked up another yard or two. Nice return there for Ramses Rivera, getting Red Mountain started out in great field position to start this second half.
To reestablish our keys of the game on offense, the offensive line's got to block and do a good job, and they've done a great job with that. Continue to show balance, establish the playmakers. On special teams, Connor Gardner continued to do his thing, making kicks and drilling kickoffs. And of course, Gardy's punts are always effective. And then my impact player tonight, Georgie Ramirez on offense. Anthony Giraldi on defense, already picked up his 60th and 61st tackles in the first half. And then Darren Smith, the quarterback, 3 touchdowns in the first half, 2 of them to Zach Molina. So they'll negate the 40-yard return by Rivera. And it's Darren Smith starting at quarterback under center for Mike Peterson to begin the second half. Turn around, the give is to the tailback, Ramirez, and he's going to be tackled right away. No room to run at all that time for Georgie Ramirez because number 76 was in there. That is Lingy Havea, and right next to him is Asaya Tuele. And those two guys paired up for a really difficult combination for Ramirez to split those defenders.
Yeah, that front defensive line for Mesa is not messing around. They've come out here in the second half ready to play. They're getting off the football, firing and getting off their block, maintaining outside contain, doing a great job on that and stopping this Red Mountain offense so far.
No gain for Ramirez. Second and 10 for the 10-yard line. Pass complete to Molina. Molina to the 20. Makes a move to the 30. And he's out to the 40-yard line. Out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Making a great move by Zach Molina on that receiving end of that. Another beautifully delivered pass there by Darren Smith. Right on the money and right in stride.
Yeah, a beautiful ball there from Darren Smith. Able to set his feet. Excellent protection up front from the offensive line. And Zach Molina using his speed. He had a nice blocker out ahead of him there, Kalim Reese-Peebles, paving the way for him, and a nice gain there for Red Mountain.
Nice job by the outside blockers. That was a 33-yard pass reception. Darren Smith to Zach Molina, and that pass combination picks up right where they left off in that first half. Again, they completed 2 touchdown plays in the first half. This is Ramirez on that student body right, and he's going to be stood up on the far side right at the numbers. And once again, Mesa very stout up front to begin this second half. That was Alex Lonkar. And Lonkar, we mentioned his size and his frame in the first half. It did not change in the second half. It is 6 foot 275. In fact, he just added 2 pounds of muscle at the break, that kid, Alex Lonkar.
Yeah, no kidding there, 275, but he's very athletic there in the middle for the defensive line of Mesa. Able to move, shed a block, and take on a tackler. Does a great job of wrapping up and driving his feet.
28-7 our score. First couple of minutes of the second half have gone by. Penalty yardage is going to favor Red Mountain, so penalty assessed to Mesa, and Mountain Lions will move the chains here. So now they'll be in Mesa territory for the first time in the second half. Ball spotted on the 42-yard line. Darren Smith under center. He's got McClure in there at tight end, and this is Ramirez. He gets the give, and he's stood up at the far sideline. Now he breaks at the outside of the 40-30, and he's still on his feet at the 25-yard line, and he's going to be tackled there. Penalty marker comes in, but you talk about being stood up at the line of scrimmage, having a feel for that, and then bouncing it to the outside, and then just hightailing up that sideline. That was a nice run there by Georgie Ramirez.
Yeah, very good field awareness there for Georgie Ramirez, able to keep those legs turning the entire time, seeing the field with great vision, and able to bounce it out and continue to gain yards for Red Mountain. An excellent carry there again for Georgie.
Unfortunately, James, a holding penalty will negate a 12-yard run by Georgie Ramirez. And so at the 10-minute mark of this third quarter, Mountain Lions commit the infraction of holding.
And Georgie Ramirez comes up a little bit lame there, as the training staff will tend to him on the near sideline.
Georgie trying to shake out the cobwebs on that right leg of his, the lower left, lower right leg. This is a give to Garner. Garner belted first in the backfield, and he somehow gets the line of scrimmage. But on that play, Garner delivered a blow, and taking the brunt of that shot was number 40, Christian Prescott. And Prescott was down face first for a minute there. He's trying to get back up, but he took a pop, and it looks like it's that left side, and he's unable to get up, James. He is in some discomfort here.
Yeah, looking at the body language there, it looks like he might have gotten some sort of stinger. He tried to get up on his own power there, but unfortunately not able to. Jarquel Garner running the football very hard for Red Mountain, and delivering the blow there on offense.
Good support defense, too, by the interior lineman of the Mesa Jackrabbits. Making the initial contact was Prescott, but I think Jarquel Garner delivered the punishment on that particular play, but the lineman there in that second wave there, right there to stand up and tackle Jarquel Garner, and they put a pop on him too.
They did indeed. There was a lot of physicality on that last play there. Defensive linemen for Mesa, they are big, but they're very athletic, very agile, able to run up and down the line of scrimmage, and they've been making plays here all night long.
A lot has gone into the region that Red Mountain is in, and unfortunately for the Mountain Lions, it's not a juggernaut type region. These are the teams out here in the East Valley. This is the region they are paired up in, and they didn't put themselves in this region. This is just the nature of the business right now, since schools are down, and Westwood is in that category. Dobson certainly in that category. Mesa has had some ups and downs the last couple of years. In fact, Mesa's starting quarterback transferred to Skyline a couple of weeks back. So there's changes each and every day in this region, but for Red Mountain, you just have to play the games on the schedule and make do with what you have.
Yes, indeed. They do have a weakened Westwood team coming up next. We'll be hitting the road for that one. That'll be the final game of the regular season, but if you're Mike Peterson and the Red Mountain Lions, you'd really like to have a little bit of a challenge, maybe get your football team, maybe a litmus test, if you will, get them ready to go into the postseason and really see what you got on the field. But as you mentioned, they got to play the schedule that they've got, and it is what it is.
Darren Smith rolls out near side. Ball is caught by McClure at the 35-yard line to the 30, and it's going to be run out of bounds on the 25-yard line, making his second reception in his young career as freshman Parker McClure. Nice job there. He's got some hands.
Yeah, great job hauling that one in. Excellent soft hands on that reception there for McClure, and he was forced out there by number 23, Edward McClendon, for the Mesa Jackrabbits. So Once again, Red Mountain picking up the football yardage and moving the chains. Another first down for the Mountain Lions.
Darren Smith to Parker McClure for 17 yards, 1st and 10. And once again, Darren Smith delivered a perfect pass to McClure out of the flat. This is Darren Smith on a play fake, rolls to the far side, throws, and the ball is caught by Molina inside the 5-yard line, and he's going to muscle his way into the end zone for a touchdown. His 3rd touchdown reception of the evening. This one goes for 25 yards from Darren Smith.
As soon as he caught that one, Zach Molina had 2 defenders right on in there. He was able to stand his ground, dig his feet in, and push it into the end zone for the Red Mountain touchdown. What a nice job there for Zach Molina.
That's the 4th touchdown pass of the evening for Darren Smith. That's the 3rd of the game for Zach Molina. Have a night, Zemo. 5 touchdown passes now for Zach Molina, and he has taken the team lead.
Indeed, a great play there for Zach Molina. Starts up front once again with that offensive line, providing excellent protection for Darren Smith. And once again, his accuracy is on target, able to deliver that one. Great poise in the pocket there, and a nice ball there once again from Darren Smith.
Threw that ball over the secondary to a wide open Zach Molina, and you mentioned it, the offensive line giving him the time for that great protection, but Darren Smith really doing a fine job of delivering the football, and he threw that one on the run too. And Molina, again, great catch, securing the football with contact, and then the 2nd, maybe the 3rd effort, breaking the play on the goal line for his 3rd touchdown reception tonight. Well, how about that, Zach Molina?
Yeah, that was all effort on that play from Zach Molina. He had 2 guys on him, draped on him as soon as he caught the football, but he was able to turn around, make that football move, and get rid of those guys and get it in there for his 6. Nice job.
For Darren Smith, his 4th touchdown pass of the game. He now has 16 touchdown passes to go with those 10 receptions, and I like to see that ratio changing with the touchdown passes far surpassing the picks right now.
Yeah, Darren Smith doing a great job. He's able to set his feet, deliver the football. The accuracy is there, the poise in the pocket. He's very calm. He feels the pressure when it's coming in around him. He knows when to step up, and a very impressive quarterback play for Darren Smith.
Lead is extended to 35-7. This is the return man Morgan, fumbled it, picks it up, angles to the 10 to the 15, and he's going to be met by a host of Mountain Lions right there. A pack of Mountain Lions there to defend that play. And Jared Butler looked like he was one of the lead guys there, coming up with that indication of the no-fly zone there, and Major Kelly also in on that special teams play.
Yeah, nice to see the special teams unit for Red Mountain swarm into the football as they're coached to do, and making the stop there and putting Mesa in a bit of a hole here at their own 16 to start this drive.
Should be noted, nice to see Georgie Ramirez back on the field for that special teams play, so he'll be on the sidelines for this one. It is senior night here for Mike Peterson. It's a 35-7 lead. There's a good chance we'll see a bunch of different combinations of different players here tonight. And for Cap Second Hamels Club, who will start their 2nd quarterback of the evening, this is Gus Owens, and unfortunately for the sophomore wideout now playing quarterback, he can't get the snap off in time. That's going to be a delay of game, another penalty for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, a bit of communication problem there for Mesa up front. Anytime you bring in a new quarterback, there's going to be a little bit of a different cadence, a different voice back there behind the offensive line. So they got to make sure and bark those signals out very loudly and make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Ramses Rivera is lined up at a safety position, usually occupied there by Georgie Ramirez. This is Mox, and he tries to run outside, and he can't do it because Trey Smith is right there. And give Trey Smith a TFL. Talk about shooting the A-gap. He did it right there. And in fact, Trey Smith was waiting for Mox as he made that first turn.
Yeah, Trey Smith has an excellent first step to the inside there, able to squeeze that down, keep his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and make the play. Excellent job, Trey Smith.
Not too often do you have players walk into your locker room and say, hey, I'm a football player. Would you guys have any need for any football players right about now? And you look at the size of Trey Smith and you think to yourself, can we use the big fella? Yes. Back to the air. This is Mendoza looking for Mox, and Mox has that play broken up. Throwing into quadruple coverage was the quarterback. That was Gus Owens. And back there defensively, even Major Kelly did a nice job of going from his defensive spot to in pass coverage right there.
Yeah, nice job moving around for Major Kelly, able to cover a nice bit of ground there in the back end for Red Mountain.
So up front on the defensive side of things, that's Tyler Wen. Tyler Wen, the senior, 210-pounder. He's wearing number 42. He's off that cap position that was occupied in the first half by Hiram Boren. Kelly at linebacker, along with Anthony Giraldi. Owens back to throw from his own end zone. Winds up looking for the home run ball near side, looking for McClendon, and he missed him about 7 yards. So Ramses Rivera was back there as the safety help, but stride for stride with the coverage on Edward McClendon was Shaq Daniels, and that is an excellent sign of sportsmanship right there. You don't see that every day, particularly here in the East Valley region, James, but the handshake, the acknowledgement of the nice D, McClendon to Shaq Daniels, that is respectable. Yeah, that's great to see. Game respects game. That's the way it should be. That's a great display of sportsmanship there between those two outstanding athletes for both ball clubs. Montez Diaca back deep again. This is the third time tonight he's punted from about a yard from his own end zone. Now he's going to scramble for his life to the edge, to the 10, makes a move at the 15, and he's going to be tackled around the 20-yard line. And unfortunately for Capsicahama's punt team right now, they can't get a snap off to get a kickoff. Boy, Major Kelly had to be foaming at the mouth on that one there. He had the punter running down the near sideline and could have teed off on in there, but chose to make the excellent secure tackle and make the stop there for the special teams of Red Mountain. So Garrett Strell will run out onto the field. Checking into the far side for Red Mountain is Lorenzo Bowers. So Bowers has checked in, the senior has lined up on the outside. We have a Lorenzo Bowers sighting right here, and he's got one-on-one coverage. This is Garner, gets the handoff, running off the right tackle, goes up the middle, and is up in it on the 10-yard line. What a great open field tackle there by Edward McClendon. We talked about his two-way prowess, but some great running there by Jarquell Garner. We haven't seen Jarquell make the cuts as much as we have here tonight. Yeah, he's been running more north and south here tonight, using the shoulder pads, running behind those pads as he did on that drive there, but a nice flip job, if you will, there for Edward McClendon. I think Devin Bracey is also checked in at one wide receiver spot. This is Strill. The give is to Garner. Starts right, cuts it back up inside the middle, and he's going to be stopped short around the 5-yard line. But good hard running there by Jarquell Garner, already scoring his 8th touchdown of the season. For Mesa defensively, making a play is double threes. Ian Lachira, 6 foot 195, makes the tackle. Again, Bowers lines up to the far side. Garner is the lone back. There goes the tight end in motion. It's Strill under center. He fumbles the snap, and he's going to touch the football. One thing about changing quarterbacks is you're going to get, as James mentioned, that change in cadence, but that change in timing and that change in the field from the quarterback, exchange with the center, and just the overall feel for the game at the quarterback position, it's a little bit sluggish here right now. Yeah, it is. Everybody's trying to get their feet underneath them. Garrett Strill coming into the ball game once again here. A little bit tough for a quarterback when he comes off the bench, but Garrett Strill can handle the pressure, and we'll see what he can do here with another scoring opportunity coming up for Red Mountain. 3rd and goal from the 7. Strill is under center. 2 wide receivers. Strill back to throw, looking for the fade, looking for Bowers, and it's overthrown. Lorenzo Bowers was there, and I had asked offensive coordinator Tabor Lamar before this game started, could they somehow take a shot at Bowers? Let's make sure that that was Lorenzo. No, I beg your pardon, I stand corrected. And the rest of the story goes, I asked, could Lorenzo Bowers be involved in a scoring play? Bowers was on the field. He wasn't the target there. And the question was, yeah, he could be a recipient of a fade in the end zone, but the answer to the question was, if that comes up, more than likely it would be Javon Ivy running that route, and they did just that there. Strill trying to find Ivy in the corner and couldn't connect. Yeah, unfortunately for Ivy, nice route that time, but just a little bit too much air underneath that one. This is a 25-yard field goal attempt by Connor Gardner. Good snap. Placement down, and the kick is right in between the uprights. From 25 yards away, Connor Gardner connects on the field goal. And for Gardner, I believe that is his, I'll have to double check that. I think that's his 5th field goal of the season. I think he's now 5 of 6 for the youngster. And he is just one of those guys that you can count on from week in to week out.
Yeah, Connor Gardner, Mr. Reliable for Red Mountain football, and he continues to be outstanding in the kicking game and helping out his defense as well, putting them in excellent field position when called upon.
Garner is now 6 of 7 in field goal tries, and he still has that long of 45 yards. So,
quick shout out to the Smith family, family of quarterback Darren Smith for Red Mountain, listening to us out in the New York area, staying up late with us here this evening. I believe it's got to be nearing the midnight hour there on the East Coast. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you tuning in.
All of our fan base in Sydney, New York, shout out to you. And the fan base of this young man we call the D-Train. There's a fake on the reverse on the end around. This is Arthur Morgan, and he gets stuffed on the far sideline. Had his legs cut out from underneath him by special teamers for Red Mountain. And it looked like involved in the play in some capacity was number 27, Luis Arredondo. And nice to see some newcomers here tonight and some seniors getting some action here in this big one.
Yeah, it is great to see some of these guys getting some playing time. No substitute for the live bullet action. And it's great to see some of these younger kids getting out there and getting some live reps.
Red Mountain also have some players that received some college offers this past week. Shaq Daniels got an offer from Liberty earlier in the week, and his teammates joining in that success, others that way. This is Owens scrambling to the near side, wants to throw the football. He does, and the ball is complete by Morgan in the middle of the field at 30. Breaks the tackle at the 35-yard line out to the 37-yard line, where he's going to be tackled right there by Shaq Daniels. And Shaq Daniels comes up a little bit slow there, and he's out of the tackle there. Charlie Hola rushes onto the field as Trey Smith will sit down for a breather.
But how about the quarterback for Mesa that time, running out, scrambling out to the right-hand side, was able to flip his hips and throw back across his body, complete the ball to the middle of the field. That was an outstanding play there for the Mesa quarterback.
Nice job by Owens escaping that pocket and buying some time. 22-yard pass play to the wide receiver, Morgan. This is Owens, again, takes the direct snap at the 40, tries to spin out of a tackle, and he can't do it at all. And coming over the top there, making a big play, it looked like it was Giraldi. But there was a lot of bodies flying around there. Isaac Thompson points the other direction, like perhaps Owens fumbled the rock, but you can see a lot of different guys out there. Jared Wilson's also down there playing defense with Parker McClure.
Just a mass of humanity in the middle at that time.
Ramses Rivera, primarily an offensive player. He's getting some time defensively. And we mentioned the young man on the edge there, number 42, Tyler Wen. Looks like number 36 is checked in, Alex Barrios, playing a corner spot there. Overall, strong performance by the Mountain Lions here. 4:43 to go, it's 38-7. We're gonna get a timeout taken on field by Coach Enders. So Coach Enders takes the timeout. He's barking at Shaq Daniels. So Daniels he'll at least skip a play, and Coach Enders, Coach Kelly and the rest of the guys will go out there and have a conversation. Other guys that received offers or have offers for this team, Red Mountains, Francis Kumi has an offer from Sioux Falls and South Dakota State. So Kumi starting to get a few looks. Jasper Parks got this offer last week. That was from Culver Stockton. So for Parks, his first offer as a member of the Mountain Lions. And Randall has a couple offers. He has one from Mary, Sioux Falls, like his counterpart Francis Kumi, and Western New Mexico.
Kev, we got to get some of these guys local, huh? Staying local.
Kalim Reese-Piva has received an offer from ACU.
Hey, there you go.
Cal Lutheran and Whittier. And James, Ottawa University, OUAC, and ACU, both prominent here in the local scene recruiting. And you have to wonder, can both these schools flourish and prosper with now the defection of junior college football? Not a lot of options now for these kids. They're going to have a place to play. You would think both those schools would be in prime position to cash in on some quality athletes.
Yeah, they got to be excited. I mean, not in a different way, excited about JUCO, the demise of JUCO football from a recruiting standpoint. I was talking with Coach Nesbitt last week. over at OUAZ, and he was mentioning that they'll be out recruiting hard. They're off these next 2 weeks, and they got all the coaches out tonight at all these high school football games, so they are pounding the pavement. They're hitting one game for a half, and then they're going to another game for another half, so they're saying we're getting 4 teams looked at in one night with one guy.
Very good.
So,
and you like to see it. That's just a blessing for all of those student athletes that still want to continue on and
indeed
continue those dreams to play this game. Nice play there on the far side. Tanner Goodchild, a near interception on that pass by Gus Owens. One thing that Mesa's young quarterbacks have had a challenge with tonight is throwing that deep ball.
Yeah, great coverage from Red Mountain. You mentioned Tanner Goodchild. He was sent into the football game by defensive coordinator Kyle Enders in substitution for Shaq Daniels, and he's making an impact here.
So illegal substitution assessed to the Mesa Jackrabbits. If you're wondering what happened to their original starting quarterback, Gabby Mendoza, he's still in the ball game. He's now playing flanker. So Cap Sikahema made a couple of moves. And now Red Mountain playing wholesale personnel here. Starting and remaining in this game is Barrios. So Barrios now is playing the remainder of this third quarter. 38-7, clock stop at 4:34 to go. 3rd and 11. Owens back to throw. Ball's batted down at the line of scrimmage, and we'll see who got the mitts on that one. I think that was Charlie Holla. Double nickels down there, having himself a ball game. Also, Red Mountain has just been relentless with their pass rush, and their run defense has been showed up tonight too.
Yeah, great job in run support all night long here from the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. But Charlie Holla that time able to knife through there, get his hands up as soon as he sees that quarterback cock his arm back and throw. He's ready to get those mitts up in the air and bat that one down. A nice job up front for the defensive line.
2 more offers for Isaac Thompson. One of those is from Laverne. I know that ACU was also looking at IT, and then Carter Wheat, everybody knows he's a commit to BYU. This is Owens on a flea flicker, back to the punter on the far side of the 40, up the sideline to the 45, and he's going to be tackled there. Looked like Ramses Rivera and Isaac Thompson were over there. Thompson gets credited with the force out, so the fake punt doesn't fool anybody. Red Mountain does exactly what they're supposed to do in a razzle-dazzle type situation. Stay at home, read the keys, and be disciplined, and they did just that.
That's indeed it. Stay in your lanes. Do not overrun the play. Do your job, maintain your assignment, and everything will be all right. That's exactly what Red Mountain did that time. Excellent job there. No one fooled for the Mountain Lions.
Nice job there, and once again, Red Mountain's average field position tonight has been right around the 45-yard line. Just phenomenal. This is Strail outside to Garner at the 45-40. And Garner is going to be tackled on the 35-yard line, bust off about a 10-plus, maybe 11-yard run there. Number 40 for the Jackrabbits over there to make the tackle. Toga.
Brought
and some good hard running there. Running right behind that right guard. It looked like he's working behind Foster and Salcedo there in the middle.
Yeah, Francisco Salcedo, you know, I saw him walking out for senior night here, and I just couldn't help it. He is such a football player on the offensive side and the defensive side. He's been nicked up a little bit for injuries, but I tell you, it has not affected his play one single bit.
It has not. Credit Garner with a 7-yard run. There goes the tight end in motion. This is Strail under center on a play fake. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Once again, coming from the outside, unabated to the quarterback for another sack, his second tonight. Osaya Asaya. Tully.
Outstanding pursuit there once again for Mesa's defense.
Yeah, Tawele with his second sack of the night. He now has 7. The team has 23. And Tawele is a really good pass rusher, and those guys are coveted.
Indeed, yes, a guy that can come up the field, and you really have to account for him. If you can make yourself where the other team has to account for you on almost every single play, you are doing things right.
2:30 to go, third quarter. Strill back to throw. Third down play, and the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. The big fella got his mitts on it, Sam Tanguy. And you talk about big, 6'1", 340 pounds big. And he too, James, is just a freshman. Watch out in a couple of years. These young guys are going to be big hogs, and they're going to be difficult to deal with here in the upcoming years for this Jackrabbit football program.
Yeah, Tanguy plays that zero technique is what they call it there, head up over the center. And they have him in a two-gap position where he's responsible for both A-gaps. And I tell you what, he's using all 340 pounds to clog up that middle for the Jackrabbits and doing a great job.
After the incomplete pass, Strill faced with a 4th and 8. Clock stop. Strill scrambles, wants to throw. He does, and it's caught by Kalim Reese-Peebles, and they're going to say he's out of bounds. Nice pass there by Strill, but Reese-Peebles caught it, and I think he had 1 foot out of bounds, and the linesman was right there to make the call. So great call there, and unfortunately for Red Mountain, we'll have to turn this one over on downs.
Yeah, ball's going to go over to Mason now, but a nice effort there for Red Mountain. Unfortunately, Reese-Peebles unable to haul that one in on the far sideline. A little bit too far for me to tell, even through the binoculars here, if he got his foot down there, but referee says no go, and so 1st and 10 Mesa.
You can't tell from here to there whether he got his foot down.
Right?
I can.
Even through the Bushnells, I couldn't tell.
1st and 10, outside pass, caught, and turning the corner and going up the sideline was number 14, and he took a shot once he got there. Marquise Owens got clobbered on the near sideline, and it looked like Isaac Thompson was one of the guys in there delivering a blow, and Isaac Thompson is banged up right now.
Yeah, Thompson got it there right on the top of the wrist. Another player came in there and tried to assist on the tackle. I believe that was number 16, Jackson Beecher. And unfortunately, a turn of events there where Isaac Thompson kind of got turned to the side and took a shot to the forearm or the wrist area there. We'll see if he's okay in a minute.
And it looks like he might be grabbing for the lower leg of some sort. So Isaac Thompson's down on the turf. 2:07 remaining in this third quarter. You're watching Red Mountain football on the Mountain Line Broadcast Network. Back after this brief timeout.
Parker & Sons Red Mountain Varsity.
A proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
We're back to live action here, 38-7, and before the Jackrabbits can snap the football, we're going to have another penalty here.
Penalty marker now.
This one called against Red Mountain. This is an encroachment penalty. Oh, and I beg your pardon.
Correction.
This is in fact, the official changed his tune there. He called offsides, and then he said, no, my bad, that's a procedure penalty. So our public address announcer took the bait on that one. So, you know the hand signals. He signaled encroachment, and then he said, no, that's going to be procedure. Maybe his elite official took down a 5-yard penalty. Owens back to throw. Looking to the far side. Now he wants to go to McClendon. It's a 50-50 ball, and this time it's going to be caught by McClendon. McClendon caught the football on the 25-yard line and sidesteps a would-be tackler. I think he was trying to outmaneuver Arredondo, and then back in the playing field, got tackled again, but he made that catch. A 50-50 ball, McClendon made the catch.
He did. He won that one indeed there. Arredondo in coverage for Red Mountain. He had good position on him, but McClendon able to use those long arms and pluck that one out of the air and come up with the reception there for Mesa. Unfortunately for him, he stepped out of bounds, or he might have stepped to the inside and taken it home.
And if Jackrabbit fans are watching this game, you're thinking to yourself, why don't you do that more? Well, it's not as easy as it would look. Owens back to throw. It's run out of time. Now he's going to tuck it and run it, and now he's going to slide down around the 22-yard line. He gave himself up. Let's see where they spot the football. But Mesa now starting to come alive a little bit as Major Kelly came in there and got a nice tackle there on the quarterback.
Yeah, once again, Major Kelly using excellent position on the defensive side of the ball, making the stop there for Red Mountain, and keeping the Jackrabbits at bay here as they're driving deep into Red Mountain territory now.
We were talking in halftime just a little bit. We talked about the offense and the rhythm that they had in the first half, and then the changes at quarterback has seemed to kind of knock them off the rails, if you will. That pass is thrown over the middle, and it's nearly picked off. Red Mountain had a chance at it. Number 40 there in the area, Robert Talamontes. He's the fullback, and just for some interesting knowledge, if you will, a little knowledge up here. Talamontes, Robert Talamontes, his cousin is Alex Talamontes at Mountain View. That's right. So the Talamontes gang
all coming back to me now.
Makes an appearance here again tonight. Of course, Alex Talamontes, the one that delivered that knockout blow on Deontay Elliott in the Battle of Brown Road. Deontay not suited up here tonight. He's just a young man that's just eager to play this game. Owens to the air again. He's looking for McClendon, and that ball is batted down again. It looks
Jared Butler.
Butler back there also. Parker McClure, number 37, the linebacker, back there in coverage. He too, just a heady young man. You talk about Ramirez and guys like McClure. There are some cerebral guys playing football for this Red Mountain football team.
Yeah, making smart moves there in the back end for Red Mountain in coverage. Nice job elevating and swatting that one away. What a great job there for the defense for Red Mountain.
So it looks like Coach Sikahama would like to try a field goal attempt. And this is Montez Diaca from the, we'll call it the 29. This would be a 39-yard field goal. The snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is wide left. So that is the second, check that, that's the third miss of the year for Montez Diaca. He is now 3 for 6. He had connected on a 57-yarder before that try there.
Yeah, that one had plenty of leg. Unfortunately, just pushed it a little bit left. Plenty of distance on that one. A nice snap and a nice hold there. But that 37-yarder, not good for Diaca.
The holder is the quarterback, Gabby Mendoza. So the field goal is no good. And it looks like Garrett Strell is out there after a full touchdown night by Darren Smith. Strell turns around, gives it to Garner. Big hole up the middle to the 30, 35, 40, and he's going to be tripped up there. Another nice tackle there in the open field. I think it was McClendon.
Indeed.
Who else would it be? But Jarquil Garner just busts off about 22 yards right up the gut. And that is what you want to do here. This is similar to what Red Mountain did against Mountain View a couple of weeks back in that fourth quarter and late in that ball game. They just absolutely demoralized them with the run game.
Indeed.
First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Strill turns around, gives it to Garner, makes the first man miss, and he'll dart right back up the middle again, and he'll just chunk off 5 more yards. Jarquil Garner running as well as we've seen him run just the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, he's really putting them up and picking them up and putting them down here for Red Mountain. I can't help but think that if he meets Eddie McClendon in the middle once again there, he'll know he's going to go low. Maybe he'll do a little high step, jump over him, and we'll have a fantastic play on our hands.
Tabor Lamar, the offensive coordinator for Red Mountain, calling a masterful game here tonight along with his counterpart Chris Andriatis. Our first 36 minutes are in the books here from Red Mountain High School on senior night. Our score, Red Mountain 38, Mesa 7, fourth and final quarter coming up right after these words.
That concludes our third quarter. We'd like to give a big round of applause to our Bulldogs tonight.
Arizona Coyotes.
Parker and Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker and Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker and Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker and Sons.
We'd like to thank a proud sponsor of Red Mountain Football, Parker and Sons. Thank you for your contributions to this great sport, this great program, Red Mountain Football. This is Strill on a play fake, has time, hits as he lets it go, and the ball is incomplete. And he took a shot again from the outside, applying the pressure for the Mesa Jackrabbits that time was number 44, Sakopi Vahai.
Yeah, coming off the edge, Vahai that time, nearly unabated to the quarterback. He was chipped there a little bit by the running back coming out of going out to the flat, but not enough to impede his progress, and Garrett Strail took a shot on that one.
He took a pop, no doubt about it. 3rd and 5 from the 45. Mesa showing blitz. Here they come. They give it to the tailback, and it looks like it's Garner, and Garner's breaking tackles, and he gets grabbed by his shirt tail and brought down to the ground, but he does pick up about 9 yards for another first down run by Jarquell Garner, and the Jackrabbits have a player down in the middle of the field on the emblazoned logo. Let's take a look who that is, and it's one of their bigger interior guys, and he is laying on his back, and looks like he's in some discomfort, James.
Well, how about Jarquell Garner there? Unfortunately for Mesa, they do have a player down, injury timeout on the field, but Jarquell Garner, a hard bit of running that time. Shades of the Tyler Rose, Earl Campbell there, a guy trying to grab that jersey and almost rip it off there, taking Jarquell Garner down.
That's going back a couple years, JP, right there. Earl Campbell.
To the Love You Blue.
Earl Campbell, my goodness, number 34, Earl Campbell. And that was back when they wore those tearaway jerseys. And Earl Campbell, God rest that young man. Whatever he's doing now, I know he took a lot of pops in his career in the National Football League.
He's selling some darn good hot links is what he's doing. You can pick those up at your local Safeway or Fry's maybe. Earl Campbell's hot links.
Earl Campbell was one of the most ferocious runners ever, and we talk about Jarquell Garner delivering punishment. That's what Earl Campbell did. He made a living by initiating contact. He was a running back that would initiate contact, and you've seen the highlights. Those shoulder pads, my goodness, those things were huge, weren't they?
Yeah, he wore, I think, linebacker shoulder pads back in the day, and that's when the pads were way bigger than they are now, and guys used to wear neck rolls and beef them up even more.
Played with guys like Dan Pastorini was the quarterback on that team, and Kenny Burrows was one of the wide receivers. 0-0, Kenny Burrows on that club, and I remember the kicker had the one crossbar, wore number 16, Tony Fritsch. Maybe it was 10.
Wow.
But either way, the beloved Houston Oilers, and whenever they had success, you heard that song, right?
Oh, my gosh. I went down, being from Dallas, I went down to watch the Broncos in the Astrodome one time, and I think we got beat by the Oilers like 44-13.
Ouch.
And I had to hear that song about 7 times that day in the Astrodome, and boy, if I never heard it again, it'd be too soon.
I'm with you there.
Houston Oilers, we're the Houston Oilers. You know the rest.
I know the rest. We continue to monitor the situation here for the Mesa Jackrabbits. One of their linemen is down, and I don't know who that is. I think it might be Havea. I'm not sure. It's one of their bigger fellas. And he has not moved an awful lot. They haven't stretched his legs out. They haven't brought over a board or anything. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Mountain Line Broadcast Network.
Shout out to Red Mountain football fans. This is head coach Mike Peterson. From me to you, I invite you to listen to the Lions Den podcast each week, hosted by Red Mountain Football play-by-play voice Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man. We will talk Mountain Lion football in depth after each game. Highlights, player interviews, chalk talk, and the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week. Listen to the Lions Den, and hey, don't be that guy.
I thought for a second there we were going to hear that car wash right after that. Money, 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 money.
Oh, too much fun, KDB.
Clock stopped at 11:48 to go. Continue to monitor the injury here to the fallen Mesa Jackrabbit. To describe the scene for you, if you have just picked up the audio broadcast here tonight, the player is motionless on his back, and I think they're trying to help him up now. But it's the first time we've seen him move his lower extremities. He's trying to stretch out. There are about 3 or 4 Jackrabbit officials standing over him, and here comes Charlie Holba, a member of the Mountain Lion team, to check in on perhaps one of his fallen comrades. But Holba will bend down and check in on one of his buddies. So many of these guys know each other, and it's a very close fraternity playing tackle football. Again, we see so many huge schools and big programs like Chandler and others like that, but it's a small amount of players that play this game, really.
It is indeed, and a very tight-knit community out here in Mesa. You know, we talk about the rivalries all the time, the battle on Brown Road, and this Mesa Red Mountain game is usually pretty good, but all things aside, football's family, and Charlie Hola out there, I'm sure with the Polynesian connection to the player that's on the field right now. So it's nice to see the sportsmanship displayed here multiple times on the field here tonight at Red Mountain.
Okay, it looks like it's number 77, Sam Tanguy. He's a freshman, 6'1", 340, and both teams on a knee here. And he is now has his legs stretched out. He's on his back, but for some reason, this doesn't look like it's going to be a quick situation here. Now Tanguy has both of his hands on his chest there. A very tense moment here at Red Mountain High School as they monitor the health of Sam Tanguy.
I don't see any ambulance lights or anything like that yet, so that's a good sign. No backboards come out on the field.
Always a tough situation when you see a player on his back here. Again, they have not moved the young man. Even the medical attention that is here, there hasn't been a lot administered to Tanguy. Right now, as players and personnel, administrators, if you will, really are around the young man. A couple of trainers for Red Mountain have their heads in there trying to lend some assistance here, but the big fella has not moved very much, and it's difficult to speculate what has happened here, but you do see that there is some concern for this young man. He's just a freshman.
Yeah, and he's a freshman that has been contributing for Mesa, making a number of plays there in the middle. You mentioned his size earlier, 6'1", 340, but he doesn't look like he plays that big. He's very agile, able to move up and down the line of scrimmage, and he's gotten in the backfield for Mesa, gotten into the Red Mountain backfield a number of times already tonight.
Typically, when you stay down this long, you are seeking some medical attention from paramedics or perhaps the fire department. And again, we have not seen anything like that yet. James, back in your days playing the game in Texas, you mentioned an all-state performer in your own right. When an injury like this happens, it is not easy for anybody, but how difficult is it to kind of maintain your poise here and then realize that, hey, we still have another quarter to play here? How challenging is that when you see one of your teammates go down and realize you still got to play?
Well, it's very tough, especially if it's one of your own teammates, and it affects you no matter what team you're on, especially, you know, even if you're on the opposite team, you know, you realize, hey, that could be me down there on the field. That, you know, everybody's one play away from a serious injury, let's face it, and this is a collision sport. They call it a contact sport. This is a collision sport. And if everybody could play it, everybody would, but not everybody can. And so it's you know, it's life and death every play. It even says it on the back of the helmet.
I could see the Red Mountain trainer. She's got some scissors in her hand, and perhaps they're trying to cut away some tape, or I'm not sure. Again, a very unusual type situation. You can see a police officer start to wander onto the field. You have to speculate now that perhaps the fire department or paramedics or first responders could be on the scene here. But a tense moment here at Red Mountain High School on senior night as one of the Mesa Jackrabbits, the big fella, freshman Sam Tanguy, is down right now. And James, what are you seeing from your angle there? I don't see any movement in the upper body.
I do finally see him moving his fingers off the ground a little bit. Looks like they're trying to get him to squeeze his extremities a little bit, so that's good to see. But again, there's a crowd around him. It's a little tough to see through the people there at the midfield logo. It does indeed look like the police and the paramedics are trying to signal the crew in here wherever they might be coming in. It doesn't look like they're moving him off the field as of right now.
So Tanguy, involved in a play, ended up on his back, and he has straightened out his legs, and that is about it. He does have tape on both hands.
Really wet. And then I meant to do it.
Right now, there appears to be, again, it's tough to speculate, maybe a head injury of some sort.
She on me and I flicked it back and then it got all over her again.
Yeah, maybe a head or neck. They're always extra cautious, especially around the neck injury area, that they don't want to aggravate that or make it any worse than it could already be.
Some members of the production team on the field and part of the operations group here on campus are starting to move some things on the field around in anticipation of bringing on an ambulance or the paramedics here. So once again, an extremely tense moment here at Red Mountain High School on senior night. Santangi appears to be motionless. And again, as the longer this injury, there is now a paramedic inside the huddle there. I can see a fireman bent over trying to administer at least a form of some questions here to try to find out what happened to this young man. And you just don't see this very often, and particularly with a player like this, a player with this type of size and the contact that they have. We know that there have been bashing heads all evening long right there in the trenches, but it's tough to speculate just what had happened here.
Yeah, I really didn't see anything on the play itself. You can't help but think that he might have gotten got his head crashed in a little bit. Maybe he was lowering his head during a block and kept it down a little bit too long and took a shot from the other player. A lot of things going on there in the middle, a lot of scratching and clawing, and it's tough to tell from up here.
So now the fire department, Mesa Fire, is here. And now we just await how they'll like to apply and administer some medical attention here. We're going to step aside, and we'll be right back. You're watching Red Mountain Football, an injury timeout. Back after this.
number 77, Sam Tenge. Let's give him some encouragement.
We join you back from Red Mountain High School. Kevin Derrybear alongside James Pooley. A very somber moment here on the field at Red Mountain High School as freshman Sam Tenge has suffered an injury, so much to as he needed medical attention. We've been paused for about 20 minutes or so as they have Tenge secured on the board, and he's now on a stretcher, been placed in an ambulance. And our thoughts and prayers and concerns go out to Mr. Tenge and his family and the Mesa Jackrabbit football program and these student athletes that are down here on the field. This is football, and it's a game. And I watched a little bit of Friday Night Lights earlier in the week, and it's really eerie because there was an injury in that game to Boobie Miles, and just reflecting on that story and what football means in Odessa, Texas, in the state of Texas, what football means everywhere you go in Mesa and East Mesa, Red Mountain, Mesa High School, at Prescott Valley, at Bradshaw Mountain. Football is just a big deal, and it's a means to keep people together. It galvanizes people, and the communities are enriched because of this sport. And when things don't go well for you, man, it's turmoil. But then when you look and you see what kind of support you have, it truly is a gift to have this many people rooting for one interest.
Indeed, indeed. It's a brotherhood. Football's a brotherhood, and it exists not only between men, but you know, the women of the game and the moms and the football moms and all that stuff. And everybody comes together when something like this happens, and they're there for each other, and that's the way it should be. So you mentioned that Odessa Permian team out of that Friday night. They just had that game last week, the Midland Odessa and Odessa Permian, and there was a bit of vandalism. A couple kids came over and vandalized the campus a little bit.
Okay.
And then Permian took that out on Odessa, and I think it was 42-7. They said, you know, this is unacceptable, and make sure that you know that this is going to be at least 10 more points on the scoreboard because of this.
Because of your it continues to live on.
Indeed.
It lives on strong, and what it means to those communities. It was interesting how this story unfolds, and the young man, I think it was the quarterback, he said, "Do you feel like you're 17?" The police officers, the law enforcement, everybody in town would ask those kids, "We're going to win state this year?" You've seen the film. Most people that watch football watch this film. If you haven't ever seen Friday Night Lights, it is a powerful movie. It's a tremendous film. If you don't even like football, it's a great story about becoming one and togetherness and the ups and downs of life as it relates to the game on the gridiron. It's just a moving story, and if you don't want to play football after watching, or if you don't want to go out and pop your neighbor in the mouth, then you haven't taken.
Like another Titans.
Looked like Edwin McClendon was also roaming in the area.
A nice open field tackle there as well for Tim Jackson.
Once again, a special concern, thought, and prayer out to number 77, the freshman Sam Tenge out of Mesa, as he was just taken away in an ambulance. Somber moment here. This is Garner, and Garner up the middle, trying to run it right down the throat of this Jackrabbit football team. That was a third down and long play. He'll pick up about 3 yards, and things are a little bit slow motion here as all the energy has been sucked out of the building here for this one, and understandably so. And now, before we even had a chance to collect your thoughts, there's another player for Mesa down head first, and this is very good. He's a
by himself. 6'1", 14 Mesa, and he was
long and our to get out here and to respond to that. Just see lines. Has an opportunity to play at that next level, Division I college football for Brigham Young University. 3rd and 6 for Garrett Strell under center. 2 wide receiver package. Strell off the play fake. He throws out in the flat, and Strell had no chance at all because coming in a hurry once again on the outside, Sakope Vahai, and give Vahai yet another hurry.
Yeah, that's not the first time Vahai has come through there unblocked tonight and heading straight for the quarterback. Garrett Strell had to make an adjustment on that one, and that was all because of that pass rush there put on by the Mesa Jackrabbits.
So Garrett Strell will give way here. This will be a punting situation. Looks like it's Kufadakis in punt formation for Gardner. 2 back inside the 10 for the Jackrabbits. Is that Kufadakis, the punter? So the ball goes off a Jackrabbit player.
That one bounced off number 1, Alec Romero there for Mesa.
So on the punt was Jackson Ditfatch. So Ditfatch wearing number 88. When you spell the name Jackson, Jaxen, kind of a unique spelling. And out there on that special teams play, running around was Hiram Bourne, and we do want to find out where Thompson on which is somewhat of a concern. A little shout out to IT. Get back quickly as that pass is overthrown. That's Givaldi there.
Our thoughts and prayers with Isaac Thompson wherever he's at right now. He's a valuable wheel in the cog here for Red Mountain.
Oh, you can say that again, James Boovy. A very valuable asset to this football team. So guys continue to get banged up here. It's senior night once again. Kind of the air has been taken out of the sails in this one with that injury to the Mesa Jackrabbit players. So guys are trying to get back into this. This is Mendoza now at quarterback. To the air, dumps it off out in the flat to the running back, and the running back will kind of tightrope the sidelines and be pushed out of bounds. That was Mox once again, and it looked like, oddly enough, with that force out, number 32, Titus Pulliam, the long snapper out there, looked like maybe playing some linebacker in this particular sequence.
I believe he was 6'3", 200-pound senior Titus Pulliam, getting a shot there at the backer position and making it count for Red Mountain.
You look at his size, he is a body, and he's a long snapper, doesn't really sign up for the collision aspect of this game, but he does a good job, and he's honorable mention a year ago. Pass from Mendoza out into the flat, and grabbing him and making a tackle was Parker McClure, the true freshman right there up to grab onto the back of that jersey and sling him down to the ground. Making the catch was number 14 for Mesa, and that was Marquise Owens, his second grab of the night. But how about the play by the freshman, Parker McClure?
Yeah, nice job closing in there. Open field tackle for McClure, and the sideline getting up for him as well on that one. Excellent job.
Look at the size of this young man. Pass outside again, right on the hash marks. Making the catch and then being dropped immediately was Edward McClendon, and making that tackle was Luis Arredondo. And how about the senior coming in tonight? He's made a contribution on a couple different plays there. That's his second tackle of the evening.
Yeah, once again, Arredondo in the right place at the right time for for Red Mountain's defense.
Ortega winds up looking for the home run ball on the far sideline, and it's incomplete. Arredondo again with the coverage, so nice job by him. He's got those long locks. Where's number 27? You can pick out Luis Arredondo. This time he had the responsibility of defending Arthur Morgan, and boy, Arredondo did a nice job there, using the field too to his advantage.
Indeed, he was using that sideline as the extra defender, and it was stride for stride down the far side of the field with the receiver. An excellent job in coverage once again there for Arredondo.
With the incomplete pass, the clock stopped at 8:59. This is Ortega. Same play, looking for McClendon. He makes the catch at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, and he's going to coast into the end zone for a touchdown. A 68-yard touchdown this time. Once again, the passer was Gabby Mendoza, and for the second time tonight, the Jackrabbits combination of Mendoza and McClendon have connected, and they've gone deep.
Yeah, very similar play down the far side of the football field. Arredondo in coverage once again there for Red Mountain, but McClendon just too much on that one. A nicely thrown ball there by the Mesa quarterback Mendoza, and on time for 6.
So the Jackrabbits can celebrate just a little bit with that touchdown. That's the second touchdown of the night. That's the 12th touchdown reception of the year for Edward McClendon. And for Mendoza, that's his 20th touchdown pass. Look at these numbers and ask yourself, do those seem accurate? For Mendoza, in 4 games played, I think it's 5 now. 43 of 65, 1,085. His completion percentage is 66%. 18 touchdowns and 1 pick. You look at those numbers, they jump off the charts, don't they?
Indeed.
But they don't look like, that doesn't look like the same player that's producing 66% passing completion percentage.
That's not what we're seeing tonight. Anyway.
Credit the Red Mountain defense, as we always do. But either way you look at it, something seems skewed from what we call the eyeball test.
Yeah, exactly. And the film test.
That just doesn't meet the eyeball test, in my opinion here. But Red Mountain in command here, 38-14. It seems like there's been 8 minutes and 48 seconds left in this game for about 3 hours.
Indeed.
Again, a long stop with the injury to the young man. And there's the ball's loose. It's Molina to the 40 with a blocker to the 30, to the outside to the 20, and he's going to be brought down inside the 20-yard line. So the onside kick wasn't going to work. The hands team was out there, and Molina got the carom that he wanted, picked that ball off, and darn near broke one to the end zone.
He did indeed. Had a late blocker that time. I believe it was Reese Peebles out ahead of him. A heady play there for Reese Peebles not to block that guy in the back. And Zemo down the sideline, a nice return there for Red Mountain, and they're in prime scoring position here.
James, I talked to Marcus Brown, the Skyline transfer, before the ball game, and he said, hey, all the litigation, everything that him and his family have been working on this entire season, they put it to rest, and he's just going to focus his sights on playing his senior year as a member of the Mountain Lions next year. So Marcus Brown will continue to work on his game and be prepared for next season. Outstanding. Strill, the give is to the tailback, and this might be the freshman Josiah Villanueva. So we'll have to check on that. There's all kinds of new players. That is number 38. So 38 on the carry. We're not going to have him on the roster. I believe that's Josiah Villanueva, and we'll double check that. Either way, Jaden Green, one other 8, was there to make the tackle. If that was indeed Villanueva, we'll get that confirmed. In one game earlier this week or this year, he had 8 carries for 294 yards.
Unbelievable.
Let me repeat that. 8 totes, 294 yards. And the Mountain Lions will go to Jared Butler this time, and Jared Butler looks like he's Jarquel Garner down there, running hard, right in between the tackles and making people miss.
Yeah, how about Jared Butler, 5'8", 160, running behind his pads and running behind that big offensive line up front that time, plowing ahead and picking up a couple yardage there for the Mountain Lions.
JB with a 9-yard gash up the middle. Clock continues to move at 7:24 to go as we take a look at the Parker & Sons Longines scoreboard. 38-14, Mountain Lions with the lead, knocking on the door inside the red zone. Strill turns around, gives it to the tailback, and once again, the tailback will go inside the 10-yard line, and Jared Butler running hard, running downhill as he gets inside the 10-yard line right there. That's a nice downhill run by Jared Butler.
Great run there by Butler, and a nice job springing that run there as well by number 14 coming in on the crackback block that time. Jared Wilson, 6'1", 155, the junior, doing a nice job sealing off the edge there for the running back, Jared Butler.
Butler has a touchdown to his credit. Parker McClure remains in the game. He is lined up at a tight end position for Garrett Strail. 2 wide receivers. There goes McClure in motion. The handoff is to Garner, and Garner is going to get run over around the 7-yard line as he got flattened by Jaden Green. So Jaden Green has made a couple of plays here in this fourth quarter. 6:28 to go. Red Mountain in command of this one. They lead it 38-14. And James, we haven't talked a lot about it. We did mention it, but the fact is that Mike Peterson's team will be 7-2 at the end of this contest. They'll be 4-0 in the East Valley region, and they'll win the East Valley region.
The East Valley region champs, Red Mountain football. They are about 6 minutes away from capturing that crown here, and they're about to put this one in the end zone as well.
Wilson splits out to the far side. There goes McClure in motion. Long count for Strill. The flip to the tailback, and again, this looks like a different runner right now.
They don't have an answer for Jaden Green, though. I'll tell you once again, he's in there making a stop for Mesa.
And that's Josiah Villanueva, the freshman tailback. He's a tremendous baseball player as well. I tell you what, the future is very, very bright for this Red Mountain football program. Coach Aviles has done a magnificent job coaching these young kids up at that freshman level. And when they finish a campaign as freshmen, they, in many cases, are ready to help the varsity right now. And you're seeing that tonight.
Indeed. Well, they use the same terminology. They try to get those kids coming up in the pipeline so that when they get to the junior varsity and the varsity level, they're already familiar with the play calls and the system and the scheme, and that just makes it very easy for them to be in a position to be successful.
We are winding things down here at Red Mountain High School. 5:11 to go in this contest. And special note and a hello to the Griner family, Cannon Griner. Just a super, super individual. Always enjoy speaking with his parents before the games or after the games, but the Griner family continue to listen to our games, and they're fans of the broadcast. Strail to the air. He's looking for Bowers in the end zone, and I believe he's got it for a touchdown. How about it? Lorenzo Bowers on the receiving end of that one from Garrett Strail. Peter pops touchdown.
Lorenzo Bowers getting the action here for the Mountain Lions. A nice job there in the corner of the end zone. An excellent pass there. Garrett Strail able to set his feet, had a rush coming from the opposite side, and he stood in there tall and delivered that football to Lobo, and touchdown Mountain Lions. Nice to see him get one.
I was just thinking that is Lobo. That is Lorenzo Bowers. That's the young man that we saw emerging last year, and he's had a tough campaign. Boy, is he pumped up down there on the sideline right now. And there's a great hold there by Garrett Strail, and Connor Gardner puts another one right through the uprights here. That's a tack-on touchdown for the Mountain Lions. They lead it 45-14. That's the 5th touchdown pass of the night for the tandem of Darren Smith and Garrett Strail.
Yeah, they've been throwing the ball all over the yard here tonight and doing a great job hitting a number of receivers. And once again, very nice to see Lorenzo Bowers get in on the action here. And don't count him out. You know, he could make an emergence next week at Westwood and be a factor in the playoffs.
That is a fine, fine catch by Lorenzo Bowers.
Indeed.
And I really did like the throw, as James mentioned to you, a picture-perfect throw right to the near pylon. And Bowers using his body to box out the defender and catching that ball at his chest, securing the rock for 6 points. That's a big deal.
Very nice. Does Lobo play basketball?
Lobo does not play in round ball that I know of, but I agree, James. Could Lorenzo Bowers be one of those playmakers that you could look to in this second season, if you will? It would be nice to think that you could count on him, but he's got some work to do, no doubt about it.
Indeed, he does. Got to be consistent. Got to come up with a couple plays and string a few more plays together here for Red Mountain.
Here comes Jimmy K. Jimmy Kufadakis will tee this one up on the 40-yard line. 5:05 to go, 45-14. And Kufanaka swings that right leg through. This is deep end over end, and it's taken back by the Jackrabbits. They give it up to Mox, and Mox is inside his own 5-yard line, and he's going to be suffocated and stopped right there. No room to run at all for Boyd Mox.
Tackled by number 26 on Mesa, Mario Barron. He ran into his own guy that time.
So Mox runs into his teammate Barron, and I don't know who the closest defender was for Red Mountain. I can only assume it was Hiram Bourne, but it wasn't. I think Jaron Butler was down there on special teams, at least in the vicinity, as we like to say.
Yeah, once again, Red Mountain's defense doing a great job of swarming to the football. All 11 hats on the ball, and credit to Kyle Enders and his staff for getting those guys ready to play tonight.
So I was talking about Coach Lamar earlier, the offensive coordinator with Chris Andrianis. Table Lamar played at USD, played at San Diego. There's a pass out in the flat to the fullback, and he makes the catch, number 49 on the receiving end of that one. Of course, he is not on the Max Preps roster. So with that, we turn things over to James Booby.
Yeah, a nice tackle there as well for Red Mountain on that stop.
PSA, I thought you were going to do your PSA.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry about that. Attention all coaches and administrators. Please update your Max Preps page as it helps us recognize your kids.
It's all about your student athletes and getting the pub and the recognition and credit as they deserve the credit. This is Mendoza, and Mendoza evades a sack, and he's still on his feet, throws, the ball is caught by McClendon. He breaks the tackle at the 30 to the 35-yard line, and he's brought down from behind right there. Wow, what a tackle there from behind. That was, I believe, the long snapper, Titus Pulliam, down there picking up his first tackle of the season. How about it for Titus Pulliam?
Nice job securing the tackle there for Titus Pulliam, but how about number 95 for Red Mountain, D'Antonio Drake, in pursuit of the quarterback, and somehow Gabby Mendoza eludes that pressure and completes the ball out to Eddie McClendon. Unbelievable play there for Mesa.
Yeah, you mentioned it. D'Antonio Drake, he just about had his first career sack. Here's Mendoza taking off with it up the middle of the field, and he's holding that ball a little loose, but nonetheless, he just chunked off about 12 yards right up the middle, and the Mesa Jackrabbits will move the sticks right here, and it was Major Kelly coming up with his third tackle of this football game there for the Mountain Lions.
Boy, an impressive run that time for Mendoza. Nobody home. Great coverage on the back end that time for Red Mountain. Nowhere to go with the football, so Mendoza tucks it high and tight and heads up the field and does some damage.
45-14 our lead. James, when you look at this offense, the numbers they put up in the last couple of weeks, is this an offensive number and an offensive rhythm that they can maintain and sustain looking into that second season?
Well, I think if they're able to have a little bit more stability on offense and get a couple more of those guys involved, such as Lorenzo Bowers. The running game is pretty stout right now with Jarquel Garner as well as Georgie Ramirez getting things done out of the backfield. But look for a couple more of those receivers to come on, and Darren Smith, get him great protection, and he can do it all.
This is Mendoza on the shotgun snap, steps away for some pressure, fires incomplete and low. Intended target Arthur Morgan. Clock will stop with the incomplete pass. 2:57 to go. And once again, just another shout out and a little thought there to the young man from the Mesa Jackrabbits, Sam Tenge, number 77, a freshman, 6'1", 340. He is one big man. Was carted off, and they took him out by an ambulance. So again, we could think about that young man. Mendoza over the middle of the field. It's nearly intercepted. Picked off there, or darn near picked off by Titus Pulliam. Intended target was Arthur Morgan. Morgan's had a solid game, but boy, you see Titus Pulliam run it down there in pass coverage, and we talk about Pulliam and his size. He's a good-sized young man. 6'3", 200, James. That is one big long snapper.
He's got some wheels, and he knows how to move his feet. He's doing a great job in pass coverage, dropping back and spying the quarterback the entire time. A nice job there for Pulliam, and once again, number 4, Ramses Rivera lowering the boom on that play as well.
Mendoza from the pocket throws outside, complete by McClendon, tackled immediately on the far sideline there. Of course, who could ever forget Titus's brother, when he came in the ball game in a crucial situation and heaved one down the field, and Lance Lawson made one of the most incredible catches you've ever seen in traffic and pulled one down inside the 5-yard line, but that was the other Pulliam making that throw.
That was Micah, correct?
That was Micah. Pulliam.
Yeah, indeed. I remember that play. That was outstanding.
Mendoza back to throw, looking far side again. Same play, same route, and this time the result is to Edward McClendon. Arredondo again with the coverage on McClendon, and who would have thought that Luis Arredondo would have this much activity in this ball game? And when he woke up today, you think he was going to go toe-to-toe with Eddie McClendon.
Indeed, but he's doing a great job. He's matching him.
So Mendoza fumbled it, picks it up, scrambles around, he's one down the field, and the ball is almost intercepted. Stepping in front of that delivery of the football from Mendoza was Ramses Rivera. And Rivera and Jared Wilson will walk off the field together.
Very nice.
Just a fine, fine performance here tonight by the Mountain Lions.
Rivera almost came up with that one on the far side of the football field.
Nice to see Rivera rebound from some challenges earlier in the year offensively. Now he's making a contribution on both sides of the ball. Mendoza out in the flat. This is Mox. And Mox is bumped off the play by, it looked like Major Kelly again. That's the 4th time tonight that Major Kelly has gone on and made a tackle. Clock stops with 2:05 to go. 45-14. Mountain Lions. James and I will be on the road next week on Red Mountain TV, on the YouTube channel for Red Mountain. We'll be at Westwood for that one.
Indeed.
Kyle Ide's team, Manny Collier Jr. and company. Mendoza from the pocket, outside pass complete to Marquise Owens, turns it up the sideline, and it's going to be thrown out of bounds by Jared Butler. Jared Butler just threw him out like it's nothing, and that's what a tough tailback does, playing both sides of the football.
Indeed, a nice defensive play there for Jared Butler, screaming across the field and making the stop on the sideline.
Clock rolling, $1:23 to go in this one. Working right to left and just approaching the red zone is the Mesa Jackrabbits. This actually is their first trip into the red zone tonight, James, because their scoring has come from 50 yards plus away. I think they have a 72-yard touchdown reception and a 68-yard reception. This is the first time approaching the red zone here with 1:15 to go in this contest. That's quite a night defensively for the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, they've been very impressive on the defensive side of the ball, and you mentioned those big plays for Mesa. That's the majority of their yards on offense here tonight. So once again, a nice job by Red Mountain holding their ground on defense.
Someone would have to double check it. They might have gotten to the red zone earlier on that field goal attempt. Mendoza escapes the pressure, gets to the sideline, is going to be forced out. Chasing him down from behind, looks tight as Pulliam, and all of a sudden the long snapper is in on every play.
Indeed, he's getting on the defensive stat sheet tonight. Tight as Pulliam, but how about Gabby Mendoza? He can move, can he?
He's got some quits with those feet, and he is an elusive young man, no doubt about it. But just a sophomore, so you have to figure with the maturation and continuing to work on that body, he could be a good one. To the outside, looking for McClendon again. He's going to be run over in the end zone by the Red Mountain cornerback. And let's see who that is over there. Butler was there along with Wilson, but the actual corner on the play was 24. Daniel Butler, that's Jared's brother. So both Butler boys out there in tandem, working together in that secondary for the Mountain Lions.
Nice coverage that time. He got mugged in the end zone there, unfortunately for Red Mountain. So we'll see where that sets up Mesa here.
64 seconds to go, 45-14. Mountain Lions are in golden position to finish this deal off. Timeout on the field. Just received disturbing news from Milwaukee. We'll leave it right there.
Now, you got to confirm that for me. You will not go home and watch the game tonight?
No, absolutely not. No, especially in a 7-2 defeat now. If they had won 7-2, I would seek out a highlight package or something like that. But all right, I mentioned to you earlier, I think I'm 0-9 recording games this year. Games earlier in the year, one event or the other. Yeah, I'd like to watch certain Kershaw's outing tonight. I would record a game, and time again, I'd come up a buck short. And I said, I'm done with that.
There you go.
ASU game, didn't watch. I watched 3 plays last night. I was watching the Cardinals game. I had David Johnson working on my behalf for the Stealth Bombers fantasy program.
All right, all right.
Just upset like Steve Keim and Coach Wilkes. And what was that all about? I tell you, I do have the kid Lindsey. The kid Lindsey's a baller, isn't he?
He is. He's a player, and it was a great football night at the Povey household last night. Let me tell you.
I thought of you, James, and I really, I don't know if you know this kid, but Cortland Sutton's a playmaker. They got to get that kid involved. And Butler nearly had a sack of Mendoza. So Mendoza scrambles away, avoids the sack, but gets dropped around the 5-yard line. Clock stopped with 52.4 to go.
And make no mistake that Demarius Thomas is well aware that Cortland Sutton is the second coming of Demarius Thomas, and he has got to get on his game.
Or Megatron or something like that. This kid,
True.
Cortland Sutton's body is really good, and he's athletic as all get out, and he's a specimen. He's got hands, and, well, who would forget that former Pittsburgh Steeler cast off Emmanuel Sanders? What a game he had. Not only catching it, but throwing it to him.
That's a great segue to my next point. The SMU Broncos is what they're called. Sutton and Emmanuel Sanders.
Is that what
both out of SMU. Yep.
They're both Mustangs?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Uh-huh.
A one-time almost defunct program. Southern Methodist University, right?
Yes, sir. Played at Ownby. I went to high school.
Craig James.
A mile from there.
Craig James. Back in the day.
That's right. The Ponies.
And the most notorious SMU Mustang, Eric Dickerson.
Yes. My mom used to work at SMU and signed him up for school.
Mendoza to the air, to the end
what a
zone,
catch.
and ripping it away from the defender was number 3, Bishon Foster Jr. That's the 3rd touchdown pass of the night for the Mesa Jackrabbits. And I believe that it was Mendoza again. And that was another 50-50 ball, if you will, and this time Mesa won it. So in the 50-50 balls, the Jackrabbits, I believe, are 3 for 3. Maybe
they
3
are.
or 4 for 4.
They are indeed, and it's all 1-2 there, and that was an excellent job fighting for that football, even being down quite a bit here in the waning moments of this one, but the effort was still there for Mesa, and a nice grab.
45-20, the extra point is up, and it is good. 45-21 our score, 46.8 ticks on the game clock here. And for Red Mountain, they will take on the Westwood Warriors and head coach Kyle Ide, I beg your pardon. Mr. Ide, good coach. And, you know, you look at the East Valley region and what could be next year and what's to come for the East Valley region. And Dobson could make a move at coach. Pete Walheim struggling a little bit there in the wins and losses department. But he said, hey, we can come here for wins and losses. We came here to develop young people. So they could possibly make a move at Dobson. I would be surprised if they did. Coach Bafumi didn't get the coach tonight, and you know what happened here at Red Mountain and all the distractions that program is under and all the scrutiny that they're dealing with right now. So Coach Bafumi is no lock to come back.
Nope.
Coach Mike Fell with the Mountain View Toros. There's no early indication that there's issues there, but I am hearing that there are challenges internally with Coach Fell in the Mountain View Toro program, so you wonder if he may or may not be back. But the only coach that I could see that's solid and that will be back next year in this East Valley region, without question, will be Mike Peterson, the 2-time East Valley Region Coach of the Year.
And he could be making it 3 after this evening's performance with Red Mountain. Oh, this would be 2 in a row. I got you. Yeah, an impressive performance for Coach Mike Peterson since he took over for former head coach Ron Wisniewski here at Red Mountain. He's done an excellent job.
There's an onside kick, and much like Molina did the play before, it's picked off, and running with the football on the far side was Jared Butler. And how about the Butler boys coming in and making an impact in this football game here in the 4th quarter?
Yeah, the Butler brothers coming up big here late in this one for Red Mountain. And yet another big play there for Jared Butler. He's done it on offense and defense, and he's been all over the field tonight.
So no time ticked off for that 12-yard return. That's usually very unique. 46.8, usually a couple seconds roll off, but not here, not tonight.
It's 11:48 right now.
Just before 1 o'clock here in the Valley of the Sun. Feels like that. So Mike Peterson's team will get into victory formation, and Garrett Strail, the senior quarterback, will take a knee And how about it for our seniors? At the very least, they'll walk off winners in their final home tilt here. Congratulations to Evan Almta and Zach Molina and Shaq Daniels and IT Isaac Thompson. Clem Reese Peebles, a senior, we salute you, my friend. Braden Jansen, Javon Ivey, Lorenzo Bowers, how about it? Lobo getting into the act with a touchdown.
Great to see that.
Congrats to him. Senior Anthony Giraldi, senior Garrett Strill, Darren Smith, the young man from Sydney, New York. Marvin Jones getting it done. And Marvin, I talked to Marvin's dad before the ball game. Have a night, Marvin Jones. You're walking off the field a winner. Jesus Vasquez, Tanner Goodchild. And the list goes on and on. Let's get them all. Luis Arredondo, congratulations, our senior. Brandon Favre, get well, my friend. Titus Polian, how about Titus Polian, the game that he had tonight? A good ball game. Alex Barrios got in and contributed. Tyler Wynn did a nice job. Jarquell Garner with a contribution, his 8th touchdown tonight. Michael Pearson playing some tight end, had a catch and made inroads early on in this game. Gabriel Robertson, Charlie Hola, Ethan Neese, Francisco Salcedo.
Ball player,
What
Francisco
a stud.
Salcedo.
Landon Skinner did not get in tonight that I know of, but he also played on this group. Connor Graham. Congratulations to our seniors. Jasper Parks, Francis Comey, Miguel Hurtado, Axel Edwards, and Carter Wheat, and then D'Antonio Drake. Congratulations to our seniors. And Alexander Randall, James Poovey. What a broadcast, what a ball game tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun one here with you at KDB. Great time here. This is the last regular season home game for Red Mountain. As we mentioned earlier, we'll be on the road next week at Westwood to take on the Warriors next Friday night at 7 p.m. And then we'll await the bracket show the next Saturday morning for the release of the playoff brackets, and we'll see where Red Mountain goes into the playoffs.
And where would you like to see Red Mountain? I think a lot of people are thinking, hey, let's get 8th. Let's get a home playoff game. I say, you know what? Forget that. We want to be on the opposite side of the Chandler Wolves. Whatever you have to do to smart yourself there. You do not want to be in the Chandler Wolves side of the bracket, because if you are, you're going to have an early date with the Chandler Wolves, and you just don't want that. If you want to play Chandler, play them in the finals. Something like that.
Exactly. And Red Mountain, I mean, they've been to the semis 2 years in a row.